Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, February 27th, 2026. Here's what's coming up on the Owen Report today. Well, you've got the Trump administration actually in Texas today. You've got RFK Jr., who was at an event yesterday. I was actually invited to attend the event, and I said, no, my show, my audience is more important. So we were here. And then RFK Jr. was spotted at a local gym. Somebody hit me up. They were like, hey, RFK is here. You should come by. So I finished working out already. Working out in jeans. But no, that's not what's important. Trump is here. He's in Texas. He's talking about how great the economy is on a campaign stop. He's going to be endorsing Governor Abbott, Ken Paxton, probably a couple others here in Texas. And I think Trump in Texas, RFK Jr. in Texas, are they concerned about Texas, guys? Is that how bad it is? Are we concerned about Texas in the midterms? Might be the sign that that's where the level of concern is, I would say. Before Trump left for Texas, he made a couple statements about war. Says sometimes we just have to go to war. So in other words, I know it's not popular. I know you're sick of war and hearing about war, but too bad. Now, where would he get that idea? Are the Iran strikes inevitable tonight? We have a lot of signs indicating that they are. So we're looking at some of those signs. And then you've got Bill Clinton was testifying today. The House Oversight Committee. We've got a lot of sound from that. We've got a lot of pre-game sound. We got a lot of post-game sound. I imagine some other stuff could happen before the end of the show. But it seemed like there was more noise before the press conference than there was after the press conference, at least as of now. So we'll look into some of those statements. And then with a lot of eyes on Howard Lutnick right now, a lot of attention on Howard Lutnick, President Trump was forced to respond to that as well. I have to tell you, I think Lutnick is going down. I think Lutnick is going down, and I do not understand why Trump is keeping him around unless he doesn't have a choice. I can't figure this one out. I cannot figure out why Trump is keeping Lutnick around and defending him. Looks like Lutnick is going down. So we'll look at that. We have some other economic news. So let's see. A lot of war stuff, a lot of geopolitics, foreign policy stuff. We got the clips before and after the Clinton-Epstein hearing. It was Bill Clinton today. Then we got some other odds and ends in the news, some fun stuff today. We're going to lighten it up towards the end of the show. Yeah, some lighter stuff towards the end of the show. So we're going to hit the heavy stuff in the beginning. We're going to hit the light stuff at the end on a Friday. But there's a big pull, and this will tie into the geopolitical news. There's a big pull. For the first time in Gallup polling history, the United States is more sympathetic to the Palestinians than they are to the Israelis. Or you could say they're more sympathetic to Palestine than Israel. First time that's ever happened in U.S. history. First time that's ever been seen in any sort of a foreign policy, geopolitical poll. And of course, to the people that pay attention to this and can just call things as they see them, we saw this coming years ago. I remember shooting a video about this years ago. I tried to find it. I wasn't able to find it. You do so much content. It's like a needle in a haystack. But I shot a video about that a couple years ago. You may recall I had a certain pastor, Greg Locke, in studio a year or so ago, maybe two. It's hard to keep up with the time now. And I told him this would happen. I warned him this would happen, and he laughed at me. Well, I guess I get the last laugh.
This news update was brought to you by OwenSchroyer.store, the official site for Owen Report merchandise.
All right, guys, last chance for this deal. Last chance for a $100 off a 3-month food supply offer from My Patriot Supply. You can go to preparewithowen.com to take advantage of this, or you can scan the barcode right on the screen there. This is the last time you're going to hear because it ends after this week. So whether you're worried about weather, maybe the weather's nice by you, maybe you just dealt with these blizzards, whether you're worried about some sort of chaos, collapse, power outages, whatever it is, this is a great way to check that emergency food box on your list of things to do. If you haven't done it, this is the best way to go. A 3-month food kit, $100 off for this listening audience at preparewithowen.com. It doesn't get much better than that. Again, if you're somebody that's already done preparedness, you kind of have these instinctual survival instinct reactions, whether it's war, global chaos, power outages, whatever the situation may be. You want to make sure that your household is prepared for an emergency, specifically insurance that you can eat. Make sure you have a food supply whenever things go to hell, whenever the grocery stores close, whatever the deal is, you want to make sure you have an emergency food supply. And most people by now have already been in a situation where you might even have tapped into yours. I know we did here in Texas a couple years back when we had that giant ice storm that shut us down for a couple weeks. That's how bad it was. Yeah, we dipped into our emergency food supplies. So this is the way to check that box. $100 off a 3-month emergency food supply. This food kit gives you 2,000 calories a day, lasts up to 25 years. And best of all, right now for this listening audience, $100 off. It's the highest quality emergency food you're going to find. And it comes in the highest quality containers, ready to store when you get it, ready to store. Not just the great bags that it comes in, but also the container that holds the bags. As good as it gets. Preparewithowen.com, $100 off a 3-month food supply for this listening audience. But this offer will expire after this weekend.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right. How's everybody doing today on a Friday, huh? How's everybody doing? I got to tell you, I don't like all the war crap that we got more of today from President Trump. I don't like that. But man, 85 and sunny today in Austin, Texas. Doesn't get much better than that. Doesn't get much better than that, guys. So hope you're enjoying this Friday. Hope you got a nice weekend coming up here. It looks like, though, it might get dampened a little bit. All signs point to Iran strikes. We hope not, obviously. We don't want this. It's very unpopular. All the polls indicate it. And even some of the normal voices on the right that you might consider neocon or conservative Inc., whatever, even they're starting to change their stance. And whether that's because they are reading the tea leaves and seeing how unpopular it is, or whether that's because they've had a legitimate change of heart like so many others, whether they're just completely turned off by the pro-Israel voices, whether it's Netanyahu's constant lies and propaganda, whether it's the unhinged maniacs like Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, and the like, or maybe it's just Americans are saying it's time to take care of our own country. We're sick of prioritizing foreign countries, foreign interests. We're sick of the foreign entanglements. We got our own problems here. Maybe it's some form of all of the above. But you can see it. You can see the indicators everywhere. Maybe it's just you, your social circles, the conversations you have with your family, probably seeing a lot of the same. So we'll look at this poll. And I guess, it's such a weird thing, guys. I got to say, it's such a weird thing. And I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think, you'd like to think, well, I'm a good broadcaster. I'm good at hosting a talk show, whatever the skill, the talent is that's necessary for that. It's like, that's one thing. But I just look back at the last 4 years or so as this foreign policy debate over Israel and foreign influence in the Middle East has really kind of reached a new level. What's so odd to me is how people either live in denial or just can't be honest about what's going on. Because I see this Gallup poll today that shows Americans sympathize with Palestine more than Israel. And it's like people are shocked. People are shocked. The Israeli loyalists are panicked. They can't believe it. They're trying to find somebody to blame. Oh, it's Candace. Oh, it's Tucker. Oh, it's Fuentes. How are you so blind? How are you so dishonest? What is that? Do people in politics, do people in political media just, is it so hard to find people without bias? Is it so hard to find people in political media that aren't biased or that don't have an agenda? Is that what it is? And I guess that really is the answer. And maybe we had higher expectations for the alternative media, the new independent media. That's been a net positive. Obviously, it's been a net positive for the country. I think that we no longer have a very small group of people that can control the narrative and control what the American people see and hear and think. It's definitely been a net positive. But I have to say, it's just this weird reminder as I'm watching the response to this poll today, and I'm just like, how did you not see this coming? It's been obvious. It's been obvious for years that this is the direction it was going. And now it's going to maybe be the number one factor in the midterm elections. And then there's the denial of that. And then there's the denial of the effect it will have on the midterm elections. And it's just like, why do you do this? Why are you going to sit here and spaz out over the midterm elections when Trump is not delivering the results that need to be had to win the midterms? And we continue with unpopular foreign policy in the Middle East that's going to cost us the midterms. And you're sitting here crashing out like somehow we owe a vote to Israel's interest. Somehow the American people owe a vote to the Republican Party and the donor class. Who do you think you are? How do you think this game is played? Are you that ignorant? Are you that entitled? Are you that arrogant? These people are freaks, man. It's been a crazy crash out. Really this week, I think. It's been a long-term crash out. But I mean, really this week, because they haven't gotten the Iran strikes yet. So these people are they're just lusting. They're just lusting for war. They're just lusting for more death and destruction. It's like there's a twofold pleasure process for these freaks. They love death and destruction, so they can't wait to celebrate death and destruction. Of course, they'll have nothing to do with it. They'll be sitting comfortably in Washington, D.C. They'll be sitting comfortably in wherever they broadcast from. But they get off to it. They do. But the other pleasure that is derived from this process is that they get other people to do their bidding. And that's the real satanic, demonic force of these folks, is that they can deceive and trick other people into fighting their wars and dying for them. That's what really gets them off. So, yeah, the death and destruction is kind of like surface level pleasure. It's like, yeah, that's kind of momentary surface level stuff. But deep down, they're reveling in the fact that they can deceive an entire nation of people into fighting and dying for them. That's where they really get their pleasure from. And now the mask is off. Now we just totally see it. We see these demonic freaks. We see these psychopaths. And then they turn around and look at you like, why won't you support us no matter what? Why won't you vote for us no matter what? You're going to cost us the midterms. No, you demonic freaks are going to cost us the midterms. The lack of good policy and results from the Trump administration and the GOP is going to cost us the midterms. Don't look over here. I don't want to hear it. Don't look over here. So let's look at Trump now. What happened to Trump, by the way? A totally different Trump, a totally different person on foreign policy and war. Trump says he'd love not to attack Iran, but sometimes you have to. Yeah, sometimes you just have to attack Iran, guys. I mean, what? What are we talking about here? This is the guy who ran and won on stopping the disastrous foreign policy in the Middle East. He ran in 2016 on that, and he won in 2016 on that. And for the most part, all things considered, his policy in the Middle East in his first administration was still better than his predecessors. We had our issues there, but it was still better than his predecessors. Now it's just back to the usual. Sometimes you just have to strike Iran, huh? Sometimes you just have to, really. And why is that? That's an exact quote. President Trump said, quote, I'd love to not use the U.S. military to attack Iran, quote, but sometimes you have to. We haven't made a final decision on whether to attack Iran, the president told reporters at the White House. We're not thrilled with the way they're negotiating. Trump said about the Islamic Republic, they cannot have nuclear weapons. So sure, everybody else can. Israel can illegally have secret nuclear weapons that's not so secret. That's all good. So imagine Iran. Here's Israel with its lobbyists that control D.C., control our media. I probably should talk more about this Paramount merger. You have the number one private donor to the IDF, the Ellison family. They now run what? What fraction, what percentage of the U.S. media do they have? And I'm sitting here, it's like, I'm not a big boycott guy. I got a Paramount Plus subscription. I almost want to get rid of it now. I don't really think about boycotts. It's like most of the slop I really don't even. It's like, oh, boycott Bud Light. I don't drink Bud Light. Boycott Netflix. I didn't have Netflix. I'm not seeing anybody talk about boycotting Paramount. I'm thinking about canceling my Paramount subscription. This is an outrageous monopoly. This is an outrageous monopoly. This deal with that they beat Netflix at is clearly rigged. And look, that's no endorsement of the people that are going to run Netflix and try to do leftist liberal bullcrap. But let's just be honest about the situation. This is a rigged deal. This is the number one private donor to the IDF, clearly a foreign loyalist, clearly has foreign interests, and they're buying up all of the media. Like, do you understand what's happening? They're buying up all the media to keep it all Israel friendly. They're trying to run the entire AI data center platform. So they'll share it with the IDF, and anybody that's not Israel friendly, you'll be canceled, you'll be censored, you'll be silenced. If you're lucky, you might end up in prison or worse. If you're not lucky. Just a giant monopoly deal. The Democrats already came out and said if they get back into power, they'll shut this down. It's like, what are we doing here? It's crazy. But that's what it is. It's all for Israel's interests. Let's just be clear about that. Oh, if it was a major sponsor of China and the Chinese military, everybody would have an issue. Imagine if it was, Qatar's interests. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Or some other Gulf nation state, some other Muslim nation. Can you imagine if it was their interest spying up all of this media? There'd be outrage. There'd be an uproar. There'd be demands for investigations. They'd be trying to shut down the sale. There'd be calls for a boycott. But now the Ellisons have a large portion of the pie when it comes to data processing and AI. They have a large portion of the pie when it comes to the U.S. media. And they are the number one donor to a foreign military. These are all facts. So Trump says, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to attack Iran. Is that because you're being blackmailed? Is that because other members of your administration are being blackmailed? Is that because the Israeli lobby owns this administration? Is that because you're cutting a deal with this new Paramount merger that you're going to step in and make sure that they're able to get this deal done, even though Netflix won the process, 3 times? And then you're going to step in and make sure Paramount gets it? And then they're going to make sure that all of their media is friendly to the Trump family and friendly to this administration. But on the back end, you're going to strike Iran for them and do the IDF's bidding for them. Is that what you mean by sometimes you have to, President Trump? Because it's not working. It's not the sales pitch we'd like to hear. It's really low effort. It's really lazy. So what is it? Sometimes you just have to. Unbelievable. Is he getting this directly from Netanyahu? Is that what it is? This is the Netanyahu propaganda pushing us into war with Iran.
The Bible says that there is a time for peace and a time for war. This is a time for war.
The Bible tells us. That's what Netanyahu says. The Bible tells us. Okay. I see. Can you believe how we're being subverted again? Can you believe how we're being sold out again? And I'm watching these people bitch and complain last night. Oh my gosh. Mom Donnie is paying people $30 an hour to shovel snow. Look. And it's like, 20 people shoveling sidewalks. I say, oh my gosh, look. They're just standing around. Well, actually, if you look at the videos, the sidewalks are cleared. So it worked. Cleanest sidewalks they've ever seen after a blizzard in New York City for $30 an hour. Not such a bad investment. Oh my God, they're paying people to shovel sidewalks. It's so bad. What did that cost us? 50 grand? How much is the war with Iran going to cost us? 50 billion? No problem there, though. Oh, no. No, we're silent on that. We're silent on risking Americans' lives for $50 billion on the other side of the planet for foreign interests that own our government, own our media, blackmail our politicians. We're okay with that. They're silent on that. But Mom Donnie's paying people $30 an hour to shovel snow. Oh my gosh. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the travesty. How can we have this? For $30 an hour. You people are out of your minds. You've lost your minds. And you know what's funny, though? You know what's even funnier about that? If it was Trump that said, we just had a big blizzard, and so I'm announcing the Trump Shovel Program is what we're calling it. I didn't name it, of course. The Trump Shovel Program. We will be paying Americans $30 an hour to shovel the snow. We're going to have those streets so clean. Your grandma's going to be able to walk outside. We're going to make sure it's safe. No ice, no snow. It's going to be nice and clean. We're going to get it done. $30 an hour, the Trump Shovel Program. It's fantastic. And everybody be wearing their MAGA hats. Oh, Trump. Oh, he's a genius. Oh, 4D chess. Oh, America first, MAGA. But Mom Donnie does it. It's, oh, no, what's happening? It's so bad. But, oh, $30 billion for Israel, please. But don't worry. You won't see anything like that in the new Paramount-controlled media. No. No, you won't see anything like that. And I love this other thing they're saying, too. They think this is some sort of a right-wing victory because they look at Netflix and, yeah, okay, Netflix is mostly ran by leftists, and they've indoctrinated so much liberal, progressive propaganda into these shows. That is true. Now, they've had to back off a little bit recently. But okay, but that's how they look at it. They say, oh, yay, the liberals lost. All right, the liberals lost. Yay, Paramount, the liberals lost. They think it's a right-wing victory. It's literally just a foreign interest victory. That's all it is. Now, look, I've not seen anybody, I've not seen somebody ask Ellison, why are you so invested into Israel? What is your interest in Israel? Is it a spiritual thing? Is it a theological thing? Is it something else? Number one private donor to the IDF. So I've not seen anybody ask and get that question answered. But okay, it would appear that whatever the answer to it is, he's willing to put his entire fortune into Israeli interests. And if you think this Paramount deal is anything other than that, well, I guess you probably believe that Epstein and Maxwell were trafficking their sex slaves to no one, right? Is that how that works? So that's exactly what it is. This isn't a right-wing victory. This isn't a conservative victory. This is the number one private donor to the IDF that just got the largest portion of the digital media that we've seen in modern American history. And they used their influence in Washington, D.C. to bully Netflix out of their offer so that Ellison and Israel's interests could now run all of these different outputs in the digital media world. And of course, you can understand the deal here. If Israel was still at a high approval rating, then they probably wouldn't mind. If Israel still had the support of the majority of Americans, they probably wouldn't have to do this. They knew that this poll would come out eventually, and it'd show that more Americans now sympathize with Palestine than Israel. So they said, well, that's because we don't have enough control over the media. Imagine that. Imagine the Israel interest not thinking they had enough control over the media. Well, apparently not, because it's not working. So are the Iran strikes inevitable? Let's look at some of these headlines. Leave Iran, leave Israel quickly. India, China, Canada, U.S., and other countries issue advisories for their citizens. War could break out at any time. The U.S. Embassy in Israel has also issued a critical alert for its employees. China tells citizens to get out of Iran as soon as possible. U.S. strike fears grow. Beijing issued the warning as U.S. continued to build up its fleet, and talks over Tehran's nuclear program ended without a deal. Israel says Iran's not allowed to have a nuke. And then all of the politicians and media members they own say Iran's not allowed to have a nuke. Which countries are urging citizens to leave Iran amid U.S. threat of force? Germany, India, South Korea, among countries to warn citizens not to travel to Iran as Trump continues to threaten military action. The list goes on and on here. Tehran on edge. India tells citizens to get out by any means. By any means. Polish Prime Minister urges citizens to leave Iran in a few hours. There may be no possibility to evacuate after. Australia tells families of diplomats in Israel and Lebanon to leave amid Iran tensions. Australia advises citizens in the two countries to consider leaving while commercial flights are still available. One day after the United States pulls non-essential staff from embassy in Beirut. U.S. begins evacuations as Israel opens public bomb shelters. The bomb shelters in Israel are open. Yeah. So I think the number of countries is 15, by my count, that have warned to get the hell out of really generally the Mideast, but specifically Iran. We got a couple of statements from the great Colonel Douglas McGregor today. Breaking: U.S. State Department evacuating non-essential personnel from Israel as public bomb shelters are now open in Beersheba, Tel Aviv, and Ra'anah. The decision has been made. The decision has been made, says Colonel Douglas McGregor. I don't think he would say that. I don't think he would say such a thing lightly. Now, meanwhile, and we'll kind of get back into this, but let's go to Trump here before departing for Texas. We got a couple Trump clips. This is in regards to Cuba now. So Cuba, there were 2 U.S. citizens. One got killed. The other got wounded. This boat goes into Cuban waters. Cuba says that they were coming in as a threat of force. So what? Now we want war with Cuba? Here's what Trump said.
The Cuban government is talking with us, and they're in a big deal of trouble, as you know. They have no money, they have no anything right now, but they're talking with us, and maybe we'll have a friendly takeover of Cuba. We could very well end up having a friendly takeover of Cuba. What about the
now we're talking a friendly takeover of Cuba. I mean, it's just crazy, man. We can't even build a damn bridge. We can't build a damn bridge. We can't finish roadway projects, highway projects. I mean, it's just we can't clean up our cities. But now we got Cuba too. Now we got a friendly. And again with the freaking engine sound when they do these press bits. Why is our country just retarded, man? I don't get it. Why are we so retarded? Do I have to do everything? Somebody call Epstein's people. Tell them that they need to clone me 100 times because this is just ridiculous. Honestly, we need 100 of my clones. Just clone me 100 times and let me run everything. This is just stupid. Are you people retarded? Can you put the president somewhere where you don't have freaking engines going off and I can't even get good audio on a clip? Like, are you people retarded? Why do retards run everything in this freaking country? Clone me 100 times and just put me in charge of everything, and we won't have retards running everything anymore. And you'll be like, wow, things are functioning. It's like, this is crazy. Things are actually functioning well. Wow, this is amazing. I can get a clip from President Trump, and I don't have blaring engines in the background because I'm not retarded. Who are these retards? Like, can you not hear the engine? It's like the freaking fire alarm chirp for white people. Can you not hear the freaking engine? Like, do you hear that? What engine? I don't hear anything. Oh, you're retarded? Excuse me. It's so obnoxious. They'll probably come out today. Just as proof of concept here. They'll probably come out today. It's the big 30th anniversary of Pokemon today. So as I told them to do a year ago, everybody's listening. I said, just re-release your old video games. It'll be a top seller. I bet you there's headlines by Monday. The re-release of the original Pokemon games that they just put out on the Switch 2, there'll probably be headlines Monday. Biggest sales ever. Biggest video game sales ever for Pokemon since whatever. It's like, because all of you are retarded. Just clone me 100 times. Let me run everything, and everything will be fine. You can see it's possible. Believe it or not, guys. Believe it or not, it's possible to have a functioning country. I know it's crazy. I know we've never even seen it. That's what's so wild. It's like we've never even seen it, but it's possible. I promise you. We can actually have a productive and functioning civil society here. We can do it. I'm telling you, clone me 100 times. I'll make sure when we start a construction project in this country, that project isn't stopped till it's done. And that's it. Why is it so hard? Why is it so freaking hard? So anyway, I volunteer. Whatever is left of the cloning facility from Epstein's lab, I volunteer, make 100 of me, and just let me just run the whole damn thing. I'm so sick of this crap. I can't even get a clip without a freaking jet engine roaring in the background. How dumb are you people? Anyway. Relax, guys. It's Friday. Just give me a break. It's been a long week. I just looked over here. I got Megan Rapinoe in a condom head telling us how bad America is. Oh, God. Here comes Megan Rapinoe. She just can't help herself. She's watching American patriots win gold and celebrate the country and love of country and pride in country. And so here comes Megan Rapinoe to just put the condom head on her hat and tell everybody how much America sucks again. Like, we're over you, bitch. Your days are done. Nobody even liked you when you were relevant. Oh, my goodness. That was something else. I wasn't expecting that one. I tell you, I look left, I see Megan Rapinoe with the beanie. Oh, boy. Woo. Good God. What in the hell happened? What went wrong? What went wrong, guys? What went wrong? Here's Trump. This wasn't even 2016. This wasn't even 2016. This was 2020 Trump.
Think of it. We've spent $8 trillion in the Middle East, and we're not fixing our roads in this country. How stupid is it? And we're not fixing our highways, our tunnels, our bridges, our hospitals even, our schools even. It's crazy.
It is crazy. So what happened, Donald? Folks, that wasn't 2016. You know that was a major part of his 2016 campaign. And by the way, that's why Levin hated him. That's why Shapiro hated him. That's why this entire Con Inc. establishment hated him, because he was against all the war in the Middle East, which was popular. And that's why when I look at this stuff now, tell me, do you guys feel the same way when you see this stuff now? I look at this stuff now and I'm like, are all of you people just foreign assets? Honestly. Now, maybe it's not that serious. Maybe you guys just are sellouts and you just work, you're just like media hitmen and you just work for, whoever pays the highest dollar. But like, I'm looking at this now and I've watched, they all hated Trump back then. They tried to stop Trump from getting in office, but now they support Trump because he's doing Israel's bidding. Now they all love Trump and now they hate us because we're still consistent with the same message from 2016 and 2020. By the way, they all wanted DeSantis, if you recall that whole debacle, but that's mostly irrelevant. So I look at this, it's all the same pattern. It's all the same people. Are you guys all just foreign agents? I mean, literally, are you guys all just working for foreign interest? Are you just media hitmen? Do you have any principles at all? Why do you love war so much? It's crazy to witness it. That's how much money do you think we've spent since Trump got into office? How much money do you think we've spent on Israel's interest, specifically against Iran? So the first wave of strikes, that whole first ordeal, and then we've had to replenish Israel's military, replenish their ammo, replenish their missiles. So there's already hundreds of millions, not to mention this military buildup currently around Iran with this whole recent ordeal. So how much are we talking here, guys? Couple hundred billion? Couple $100 billion for foreign interests? Okay. Well, there's Trump. There's Trump from 2020 saying it's crazy that we continue to spend all this money in the Middle East. We don't even fix our own country. What happened to that Trump? What happened to that Trump? How many people in this chat today would say, I could find a way. I could find a way to make that money work to help America. I got an idea. Why don't we give some of that money? I don't think it would take much even. It would take a couple, maybe $100 million most. Give that money to the Boring Company and let's build a maglev train. We'll run a test to see if this works. Instead of a couple of $100 billion to be sank into the Middle East for foreign interests, let's give a couple $100 million of that to the Boring Company. Let's do a test in Texas. We'll have a hub for a maglev train in Austin. It'll go north to Dallas, it'll go east to Houston, and it'll go west to San Antonio. And Austin can be the central location. And guess what? People can use it, and they can avoid traffic. You could get to Dallas in probably 45 minutes, get to San Antonio in 20 minutes, get to Houston in 40 minutes. That'd be so hard. No. Sorry, as Trump says, sometimes you just got to go to war. But it's not popular. You've probably seen Rob Smith before. He's a frequent guest on Fox News. This 20-year-old man, this is a picture from him when he was 20, was sent to a fake war by the D.C. war complex and the corrupt mainstream media. The 43-year-old man he has grown into will not be silent about the same thing happening to another generation of young people. No war with Iran. Well done, Rob Smith. And then he also shared this video, the caption, I don't care what a foreign government wants. I don't care what DC warmongers wants. I don't care what the mainstream media wants. I don't care what paid influencers want. The American people do not want war with Iran. No war with Iran. And then he gets into that in this 7.5 minute video. Good for him. Good for him. Now, here's the poll that has them all freaking out. Gallup poll. In the Middle East situation, are your sympathies more with the Israelis or with the Palestinians? And for the first time ever, more Americans sympathize with the Palestinians than the Israelis. And year over year, it's +8 for the Palestinians, -10 for Israel. So it just shows you how unpopular Israel has become. It shows how unpopular the foreign policy has become. It shows you how unpopular the war has become. Many different reasons, but that's the fact. And now this is going to cost Republicans the midterms. And these liars, these foreign assets are going to lie, and they're going to say, this is because you didn't support the war. We lost the midterms because you didn't support the war. One big giant F you to everybody who's going to say that. From the American people to all of the foreign assets and liars in the media, when the Republicans lose the midterms, sabotage the Trump administration, impeach Trump and probably other members of administration, and then God knows what else they'll do. It's you guys did this. A big, fat, stinking F you. You guys did this because you could not put foreign interest aside. You guys did this. You're not going to blame this on us. Don't even try it. Don't you dare try to blame this on American patriots. Don't you dare try to blame this on people that are remaining consistent on policy. Don't you dare. Trump won because he was against the disastrous foreign policy in the Middle East in 2016 and in 2020. Don't you dare put this on us. You liars, you frauds, you traitors. We all know you're going to try. We all know you're already building that infrastructure to blame it on us when they lose. No, F you. You did this. You're scum. You are the scum of the right wing. You are the reason why right-wing politics can never get any momentum, can never build a franchise, can never rally for multiple wins at a time. It's because of you. You guys suck. You guys suck the life out of every pro-freedom, pro-America, right-wing populist nationalist movement that's ever existed. You traitors. And then you turn around and you blame us. It's you. And we all know who you are now more than ever. Now, you may recall there was that story on the USS Gerald Ford of the plumbing going haywire. Well, we go back to Colonel Douglas McGregor on with Redacted. He thinks it was an intentional sabotage job.
I know from my sources in the Navy that sailors actually took undershirts and stuffed them into the toilets to cause them to back up.
What?
I know that the crew's very, very unhappy with being at sea now for 10 months. And before this is over, it will have been a year. They went to Suda Bay. I think they tried to address some of this. And now they've pulled out of Suda Bay after 48 hours or a little more than that to repair things. But you're talking about something else that's hugely important. I don't want to go into great detail, but logistics in the region is very problematic right now. Places we formerly were able to utilize, we can't because of the Huckabee interview, frankly. That particular revelation has turned almost everybody against us in the region. So the Navy is now looking as far away as India and ports there that they can go to as required.
So there is a logistical issue as far as a strategy of alignment when it comes to a potential war with Iran that you hear McGregor highlighting at the end of it. But people were saying, oh, the reason the plumbing is failing is because this ship has this different plumbing system, whatever. I had some other people reaching out saying they thought it might be hacked. My instincts was this was personal sabotage, and McGregor says that that's what his sources are telling him. Now, strangely enough, it's actually a pretty well-known tactic. This happened one time when I was in the federal prison. They did the same thing. When the prisoners want to have an uprising or do a protest, they stuff the T-shirts in the toilet and flushing until it causes a flood. So maybe the members of the Navy that have been on that ship now 4 months past their 6-month normal service routine, maybe they decided they were going to, as they're feeling like prisoners, maybe they decided they were going to do a little flooding sabotage so that we could maybe avoid going to another war in the Middle East that nobody's interested in and that the soldiers are sick of. Here's an idea, Trump. Bring the troops home. Bring the troops home. Let the rest of the world figure their mess out. Let them figure it out. Bring the troops home.
Listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Guys, I talked to Allegiance Gold yesterday. I hope you watched that interview, and I hope you've given them a call. If you're like me, you probably don't like having money in the bank. You never know what's going to happen. The devaluation of cash, bank runs, who knows what's going to happen with cash in the bank. You probably want to look at assets or specifically precious metals. That's what a lot of people are doing. We covered all the different headlines about it yesterday. And right now at Allegiance Gold, if you go to protectwithowen.com, you can get $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether through your 401k, IRA, or savings. All you got to do is go to protectwithowen.com, or you can just give them a call. Any questions you have, you want to get a better understanding of the precious metal markets and how you can maybe move from savings or 401ks or IRAs into precious metals, just give them a call, 844-790-9191, 844-790-9191. They'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. And that's why they have an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You heard that right. An A+ with the Better Business Bureau. And that's tough. You know, a lot of companies out there in the precious metals don't get the highest grades because a lot of scammers out there. Not Allegiance Gold. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. As good as it gets. Remember, folks, $5,000 with qualified investments in free gold and silver. And as we wait, that weight continues to go down. So don't hesitate. Give them a call, 844-790-9191, or go to protectwithowen.com. Protect your wealth because no one else will.
Navigating between the sane and insane, it's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, into hour number 2 we go. Went a little long with the opening rant monologue there. I intended to get all of this stuff off the desk before we got to the Clinton clips from the hearing today. But I had, I don't know what the number was as of today. I think it was about 2 million on a video I posted. 30 years of Netanyahu lying to America about Iran getting nuclear weapons or Iran being days away from nuclear weapons. In fact, we should probably post that on YouTube as well. We need as many people to see that as possible. We need 300 million Americans to see how Netanyahu has been lying to us for more than 30 years about Iran being days away from a nuclear weapon. It's unbelievable that this absolute liar, it's unbelievable that we entertain this person as an ally. It's unbelievable that we treat this person with dignity and respect when he comes to Washington, D.C. It's unbelievable. But the tide is changing. There's no doubt the tide is changing on that. And two voices that will tell you they've certainly changed their mind and just did are Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson, both formerly of Fox News that pushes these wars more than any other outlet in America. And now they're saying it.
This first started again, like the build up to what we did in July with Bibi, like they're this close to having the nuclear bomb, like blah, blah. It was one of the aha moments that I've had over the past year when it came to Israel, because I was there. I was at Fox News for each of those UN addresses by Bibi. And the one that I remember in particular where he had the picture of the bomb and it looked like the round bomb that like they do in the cartoons and said that they're within months. And I was a naive young journalist at Fox who really didn't do a lot of foreign policy coverage. Like, oh, wow, that sounds dire. God, that's bad. We better pay attention if that's true. I think Iran hates us. That's what they say. And they hate Israel. So, wow. And here we were 14 years removed from that speech with him saying the same thing. And truly, it's just like over time, if you paid any attention, you realize he's been lying every time. He has an agenda. They weren't. He's said it for years. If they were within months of getting the bomb back then, that was, I think, 2012. Why are we now at 2026 and they don't have it? And you ran a similar clip on your show, I think it was last night, from dating back to the mid-90s.
Yes.
We're going to show it in part here. Watch.
The most dangerous of these regimes is Iran, that has wed a cruel despotism to a fanatic militancy. Only the United States can lead this vital international effort to stop the nuclearization of terrorist states. But the deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. They're rushing forward with their enrichment program.
By next spring, at most, by next summer,
2012 with the bomb.
at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb.
You don't want this Iran to have neither nuclear weapons or the capability to make nuclear weapons, to enrich uranium for a nuclear bomb in short order, in a few weeks or a few months. They could do that unless that's changed.
With this massive capacity, Iran could make the fuel for an entire nuclear arsenal, and this in a matter of weeks, once it makes that decision.
2015. By the way, that was our montage. I know you didn't do it.
So there's other montages. And in fact, people have even gone back to the 80s. I've seen It dated back to news headlines, published news headlines from 1984 saying Iran was weeks away from a nuclear weapon. It's unreal to me. 300 million Americans need to see that clip. 300 million need to see that clip. And it's very important to understand. This isn't a left-right issue. This is a foreign leader who is lying and propagandizing the American people to fight and die for his interests. That's what this is. Let's not mix up or confuse exactly what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing to us. He is intentionally lying. He is intentionally deceiving. He's been doing it for decades because he has an agenda in the Middle East and he needs the U.S. blood and treasure to carry it out. That is outright propaganda aimed at us. And it's time for the American people to wake up and treat Netanyahu as the liar that he is and the war criminal that he is. Every single American needs to watch that clip. That should be mandatory viewing for every single classroom in the United States of America today. That's what it is. And that's why it's so insulting to see President Trump talking so positively of Netanyahu, pulling his chair out and hugging and smiling. It's disgusting. So then you have the normal voices pushing for this war. Of course, they'll never go. Mark Levin will never go. Mark Levin will never go to war. He'll never send his sons to war. He wants Americans to die. He wants Americans to die for Israel's interest. Of course, he doesn't go to Israel. He lives in the safety of America. He has the safety of his studio. He's not going to fight, never has, not going to send his family to fight. Mark Levin is a traitor. Mark Levin is a foreign loyalist and a traitor and a phony and a fraud. And they've been using this same isolationist propaganda since the 2000s to get us into Libya, to get us into Iraq, to get us into Afghanistan. These are all Israeli loyalists doing propaganda aimed at the American people for Israel. That's what this is. Mark Levin is a traitor. Mark Levin is a deceiver. He poses as an American patriot, bring on right-wing conservatives to listen to this and say, yeah, Constitution, yeah. All fake. He deceived you. He posed as an American patriot to get you to support Israel's interests. And now I guess the latest has to be Laura Loomer. She has to be the new Mark Levin. And she's parroting the exact same propaganda talking points that Mark Levin is, attacking the exact same people. So because Americans and because Christians don't want to be involved in more wars and we actually want to help our own country, all of these foreign loyalists are taking their mask off and showing us who they really are. They posed as American patriots. They pretended like they were one of us. Now the mask is off. They're foreign loyalists. They're propaganda agents. We are rejecting them. And so they're lashing out at the more powerful voices that are actually reaching the American people, exposing these frauds, exposing Netanyahu's lies, exposing how our military and our Congress has been used and abused for a foreign agenda. We're going to have a little more fun with Loomer later on in the show, by the way. Now, Mexico just came out in multiple statements. The president made a statement, as did some of their military generals. 80% weapons seized from the cartels are of U.S. origin. Mexican Defense Secretary reveals stunning stats. And they believe that some of them, at least, were from Barack Obama's Operation Fast and Furious. Nobody's been arrested for Operation Fast and Furious. So they believe a lot of them came in from Fast and Furious. They also have found weapons that they have tied back to the Middle East. And they've also found weapons that they tied back to Ukraine. So there you go. Here's a list. We already kind of covered the Paramount thing. Here's a list of everything Paramount now owns. TNT, CBS, CNN, MTV, TCM, Showtime, Adult Swim, DC Studios, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, HBO, HBO Max, Comedy Central, Cartoon Network. They have the film rights to such franchises as Star Trek, Gremlins, Beetlejuice, DC Comics, Tom and Jerry, Harry Potter, Citizen Kane, Transformers, A Quiet Place, Looney Tunes, The Conjuring, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, Dora the Explorer, Mission Impossible, The Lord of the Rings, SpongeBob SquarePants, Avatar, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dune, Minecraft, and Monsterverse. Now, for the most part, to keep it balanced, artistically speaking, I don't think you're going to see a big change. If anything, now I don't know how many of those it would have been different if Netflix got the deal. There was only a couple. Paramount already owned most of those. As far as the artistic concerns, it probably will be better off with Paramount. But we have to understand, this is all a deal to make sure that all of Paramount's media empire protects President Trump, and all of Paramount's media empire protects Israel's interests. That's what this is really about. Meanwhile, this did not get much attention today. Trump administration slammed by 2,000 tariff lawsuits following SCOTUS ruling. Following last week's Supreme Court decision ruling, President Trump's tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act illegal. Thousands of companies have lined up to file lawsuits against the administration seeking tariff refunds, including but not limited to Costco, FedEx, Dollar General, Skechers, and many more. SCOTUS didn't provide guidance on how refunds would be provided, leaving the decision to a lower court. However, the court warned the process is likely to be a mess and was acknowledged at oral arguments. Hundreds of billions of tariff revenue hang in the balance. But of course, the American consumer has already paid these prices. And now the companies are going to get the refund. And they're also suing Trump for this. Oh boy, what a mess. Who advised him of that? Was that Lutnick? Who is the advisor there? Not so friendly coverage of the economy this morning on Fox News's Varney and Company.
Let's begin with the latest read on inflation. This is important, and it's probably moving markets. It's the producer price report. It came in hotter than expected. Prices up 2.9% over the last 12 months. Now look at the core number. This pulls out the volatile prices for food and energy. Prices up a whopping 3.6% in the last 12 months. That is the highest reading since March of 2025. Now look at Dow's. That's affecting futures. Go back to the boards there. We're down 526 now on the Dow, down 235 on the NASDAQ. Fortunately, we have David Barnson with me this morning to explain things. Is this sell-off anything to do with inflation, or is it the air coming out of AI again?
Yes, it's a combination of both. I think probably the NASDAQ is more related to air out of AI. And then remember, if the inflation number runs hot, they assume interest rates might not come down as much. That affects the valuation of expensive AI, tech, NASDAQ things. So they're connected, Stuart. This PPI number was not good.
No, it's not. It's not encouraging at all, is it?
So in other words, I guess Trump was lucky that his State of the Union speech happened before those numbers came out, because inflation year over year, not good. Producer price index year over year, also not good. And those were two things that he was touting during his State of the Union address that now neither one is true. All right, let's go to the Clinton hearing day 2. Now, it was Bill's turn today. I've got a lot of audio clips here from the press conference that they had outside of the Chappaqua Arts Center. Why are they doing this? Is this intentional? Is this a troll? I mean, I guess it's also whatever. You're going to order pizza if you need it. Dozens of pizzas were delivered to the Chappaqua Arts Center during the hearings. They just probably organic irony there. I don't think that's, I don't think that's intentional irony. They probably even, I hope they understand the irony inside of the building that they're having pizzas delivered with the pizza coded language everywhere. But okay, a little organic irony. Let's go to the press conferences here. We got a lot from Anna Paulina Luna. Let's start here.
Secretary Clinton actually asked us about what happened with the disclosure language in the NDAA. So, I mean, I know she's trying to pivot from the fact that she's here and she had a very close relationship regarding the Clinton Foundation and Epstein and Maxwell. But the point is, and I think I'd like to hit on this with probably Miss Mace here. But I think we have a very important interest in curiosity about what specifically the co-conspirators had a role in all this, right? We know for a fact that some of these were women. And I think that today, at least with my line of questioning, I'm curious about that. Why is it that these women were giving plea deals as adults for trafficking minors? How much of that did they witness, et cetera? And so, I don't know that Secretary Clinton was all that honest about the context of this investigation. We asked extensively about intelligence ties, whether or not she felt that she was targeted as a result of possibly an intelligence gathering operation. And she was very curiously interested in that. And then also, you'll hear it in the response, but had told us to follow up with a few countries, one of which is our ally. So that's interesting.
Hillary Clinton told the Republicans in the Oversight Committee, you need to follow up with Israel, is what she just said. Hillary Clinton just gave the wink and the nod that Epstein was in some way, shape, or form working with, for, or through Israel. As if we didn't already know that. This thing is not going away. And the administration can try to pretend it is. And the MAGA cult members can try to beg it to go away because it's such a disaster. It's not. It's not going away. There's way too much interest. And I think there's genuine interest from a lot of these Republicans. And you can say or whatever, but it's genuine. They're going all the way. I think Nancy Mace, I don't think Anna Paulina Luna, I don't think Lauren Boebert, they're going to run on this as a woman thing. We're standing for these victims. And there'll be plenty of men that decide to take the lead on this as well, that have political aspirations beyond whatever their current status is in Congress. So this is not going anywhere. We go now to the one Democrat that was out there being vocal, Representative Ro Khanna.
A new precedent has been set in America today. Before this, we had the Trump rule. Trump defied, as all of you know, a congressional subpoena with the January 6th committee. He said presidents don't have to testify. Now we have the Clinton rule, which is that presidents and their families have to testify when Congress issues a subpoena. And that means that Donald Trump needs to come before our committee and explain what he knew about Epstein and explain why we have not had a full release of the documents. We also need other people, part of the Epstein class, to come before this committee. If President Clinton can answer questions, many others need to as well. I was pleased to see Congresswoman Nancy Mace today calling for Howard Lutnick to come before our committee. I believe we will have the votes to subpoena him. And we will work with Member Garcia to make sure that he comes before our committee next.
Let me kind of translate this to you long term. And he mentioned Howard Lutnick. We'll respond to that. We'll hear Trump on Lutnick in a second, and then we'll go back to Chappaqua. But let me explain how this just went down. And I can't believe it. I can't believe Trump is so naive. That's why I'm like, is Trump this naive? Are things really this bad? Or is it QAnon? Like literally, it's so bad. And Trump appears to be so naive that I think the odds of QAnon being real are now greater than the odds that Trump is this naive or this bad now. Okay. But that's just what rattles around in my head. Let me explain what just went down here. Trump obviously cut some deal with the Clintons. And that's why he's now making public statements saying, I'm upset that Bill and Hillary have to go through this. I really like Bill. I think they're good people. So he's now running public cover for the Clintons. And obviously, to me, the deal would be, hey, you don't bring me up. When you guys go testify, don't bring me up. I'll run cover for you as much as I can, but you're going to run cover for me when you go do these hearings. Do not bring me up. And if you do, you have positive things to say. Okay, so that's the deal. Well, look at it this way now. Bill just, whether he realized it or not, just screwed President Trump. Why do you trust these people, Trump? Why did you throw the actual people that you can trust and the fighters that will stand in the fray for you against the swamp, and you threw all of us under the bus, and you decided to get in bed with Bill Clinton thinking that that would benefit you, thinking that you could trust him? Now, because Clinton just testified, here's what's going to happen. And because your policy is such a disaster, the GOP is such a disaster, your biggest supporters now are the most unlikable, insufferable people in the political media. The midterms look cooked. So now you know what they're going to do? They're going to call you to testify in the Epstein files. You're not going to show up, and they're going to impeach you. That's how this is going to go now. And that's because you trusted the wrong people. And there won't be people to stand up for you. All these people that you think are going to fight for you now, all the people that make the memes and eat the dog food and all the other crap that they do you really think you're going to have people that really stand up for you? You sold them out. It's over now. Now you have to rely on swamp creatures. Now you have to rely on bought and paid for media frauds. Now you have to rely on phonies and cucks in the media. They're not going to be there for you. They're all going to turn and run as soon as the temperature gets bad. Too hot, too cold, they'll be out. They'll be gone. And now, if you lose the midterms, do you understand? They're going to impeach him on this because he's not going to show up to testify. They're going to impeach him on strikes, who knows which ones, maybe all of them, saying you didn't get congressional approval. And it's not going to be like the first round of impeachments that were just totally fraudulent, totally fake, which you never arrested anybody for any of that either. So good luck. No, these are going to be real impeachments now. And you've been betrayed by all the people around you that you trusted. Mark my words. And now he's standing up for Lutnick. This is unbelievable. Lutnick is going down. And is Trump going to go down with him? Listen to this.
Guys, doing a good job.
Lutnick is a very innocent guy. Unreal. Simply unreal. Again, Lutnick is tied into so much stuff now that looks really bad. I think Lutnick is going down. I have to tell you, I think Lutnick, something is going to take him down. He's tied into way too much corruption. He's tied into way too many bad things. I don't know. But hey, this is who Trump is going to ride with now. So I guess the good news is out of this, we might actually get better representation. But let's go back to Chappaqua. We've got more from Comer and Anna Paulina Luna.
For these positions that of great power and great wealth, and I used yesterday and today as an example. It took 7 months to get the Clintons in here, but we've got them in here, and we look forward to asking lots of questions that I think any curious media outlet in America would have. Yesterday, Ms. Clinton deferred a lot of questions to her husband today. There were at least a dozen times when she said, "You'll have to ask my husband that. I can't answer that." So we already had a big portfolio of questions for him, and that increased yesterday. So we look forward to that. We'll be happy to answer a couple of questions.
Mr. Chairman, good morning.
For these depositions.
language in the NDAA. So, I mean, I know she's trying to pivot from the fact that she's here and she had a very close relationship regarding the Clinton Foundation and Epstein and Maxwell. But the point is, and I think I'd like to hit on this with probably Miss Mace here.
All right, let's move through this. This was Anna Paulina Luna after the Bill Clinton hearing today.
That Jeffrey Epstein was running a intelligence gathering operation. In my professional opinion, I do believe it was a honeypot operation. And I do believe that there's a list of individuals who did engage in trafficking, were given these plea deals, and I'm going to name those individuals right now. The first one would be Leslie Groff. The second one, Sarah Kellen. The third one, Nadia Markova. And the fourth one, Adriana Ross. All of these women engaged in the trafficking of minors as adults. They were working and complicit with Jeffrey Epstein's operation. And in my opinion, they are not to be given victim status because they did partake in harming young girls. I remember seeing in some of the files, some of these girls were, as young as 10, 11 years old and older. And so obviously we have a lot of work to do, but I did want to come and give an update and that Jeffrey Epstein was running.
Full steam ahead, guys. Full steam ahead. So as we're getting a better picture here, a lot of what you could maybe say we assume to be true has now either been completely proven true, or we're on the brink of being proven true, or there's enough circumstantial evidence to lead us to the conclusion that, yes, it's the reality. But now here's what needs to be, I think, whenever we get to the next level of this investigation, here's what's going to have to happen. It's clear what they did whenever they cut this deal with Epstein and his co-conspirators. First of all, whoever cut these deals, they need to be brought in for questioning next. They all need to be brought in for questioning, and they need to be asked, why did you give them favorable treatment? Why did you cut them a sweetheart deal? Are you blackmailed? Are you working for a foreign country? Why are you derelict in your duty of bringing justice to one of the largest blackmailing sex trafficking networks on the planet? Maybe the largest, at least that we know of. That's where this needs to go next. And I do think we will get there, by the way. It's inevitable that we will get there because it's very clear what they did. The obvious question, well, if Epstein and Maxwell are running a sex trafficking network, then who were their clients? Who were they trafficking the girls to? Oh, no one. And then, of course, one of the biggest co-conspirators, Jean-Luc Brunel, dies in jail. Suicide. One of the biggest whistleblowers, Virginia Giuffre, suicide. And then, of course, there's been some other suicides with some other people attached to this, but those are the two big ones. So it's pretty clear what they did. And this is why whoever cut the deal needs to be investigated. They, and this was their excuse, they said, oh, well, these women, of which Anna Paulina Luna just named 4 of, they said, well, no, these women were victims because these women were sex trafficked. That was a cover. They were Epstein's recruiters, and they weren't the only ones. Maxwell was the main one, and then there were a bunch of underlings, and they would go to different clubs, different parts of the world, whatever. We've seen this all come out in the emails, and they'd bring in young girls, and then eventually they'd get into the Epstein network and do the honeypot operation. So when they found all of these women that were under Maxwell, the deal that they cut was, oh, they're victims, so they're out. Then there's the co-conspirators. Then there's the men. The argument that they made was they're victims of being blackmailed. They're victims of blackmail because they were honeypotted and they were lied to about the age of these women, or they were lied to about some financial operation Epstein was running. And so they're victims of Epstein's crimes. And that's how they cut them all loose. That's the deal that they cut. So eventually it's going to get to that bottom line. And then they're going to have to investigate the people that cut the deals. And they're going to have to figure out why this happened. So Tim Burchett, though, he has a way of dealing with this. He is not shy about what he thinks needs to be done about these pedophiles. Here's what he said.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. I woke up this morning thinking about some stuff, and it sort of kind of makes me angry. I hear people saying, no, they're trafficking. Well, we got to get that straight. They're pimps. And when they say trafficking young kids for across state lines for sex with adults, no, they're not. They're selling these kids to get raped. I think we try to sanitize stuff, in Hollywood, shows the pimp and dressed in the fine clothes and the nice car and, talking tough and all that. And that's all these people are. They're awful, awful, demonic people. And they deserve to burn in hell. And people say, oh, Burchett, you don't want to hang those people. The hell I don't. Bring them out to the farm. And we'll take care of them. And I'm not kidding you. We've got to start taking this stuff serious in this country, folks. And, the way the left and I guess we all are guilty of it. We try to sanitize it so it doesn't affect our psyche or our conscience. But stuff's going on right now. It's going on in your community. It's going on in my community. We need to pay attention, and we need to start enforcing our dadgum laws and quit electing these gutless wimps and putting these judges in that let these people walk, and quit with all the being able to get out of these things, and they get probation and all this other stuff. All they're going to do is offend again. And the people that are buying these kids to rape are just as guilty or worse than the others. End them all. That's what we've got to do. There's nothing redeemable about these people. Anyway, folks, pray for our country. Pray for all those little kids out there that are lost in this horrible system. We lost over 300,000 during the Biden administration. Thank God for President Trump and Holman. They found, I think, 145,000 of them so far. And that's not in the press. Should be. Shame on the media. Anyway, pray for our country. Thank y'all for seeing me here.
We have to have massive DOJ reform. We have to have massive justice reform in this country, folks. Massive. They treat child molesters and traffickers like light criminals. It's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. If we're having a debate about what to do with child molesters and child traffickers, the debate should be whether they get to live or not. That should be where the debate starts. Right now, they get off with light sentences. In fact, we got one coming up later in the show, but I want to stick on the Clinton Epstein stuff for now. There is another Clinton whistleblower, just went on Great Britain News. His name is Steve Gill. He had some things to say in the aftermath of Hillary's deposition yesterday.
The fact that Ghislaine Maxwell was at her daughter's wedding, and her story now is, oh, she was a +1. Well, who was she the +1 with as the pimp in chief for Jeffrey Epstein? And the alleged 13-year-old girl, her entire testimony was discounted by the FBI after.
Now, by the way, quickly on that, I don't believe that that's true as a +1, but let's say she is a +1. So okay, I think it's pretty obvious what's going on. Maxwell sees that there's a big political wedding happening. Oh, there's going to be some heavy hitters there, right? There's going to be some heavy hitters, some politicians, some bankers, whatever. A Clinton wedding, she's got to be there, and she's got to meet people that she can honeypot into the Epstein blackmail network. See how it works?
Investigation, because it supposedly happened again when she was 13 or 15 at Hilton Head Island with no evidence whatsoever to back up her claims, and she was determined to be really kind of off mentally. So again, the left keeps wanting to throw Bill Clinton aside while focusing on Donald Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein who went to the White House 17 times, with Hillary always out of town. Bill and Hillary went to the Zorro Ranch multiple times, and she never met Jeffrey Epstein there. There are pictures of her with Jeffrey Epstein, while she claims both in apparently her sworn testimony and afterwards, she never met the man. So are we supposed to believe our lying eyes or Hillary Clinton?
I guess the difference is she's saying, I don't remember meeting him. Maybe that's one of those small legalese phrases, which means that she gets off swinging off a massive giant hook. Steve, do you think there's been any justice for the victims of this?
But so many of these people who write these long books detailing their time in office or as a camp, they can remember everything when they're writing a book. But when it's a tough question, I can't remember ever meeting the man. And her statement afterwards, and her lawyer's statement was definitive. I never met the guy. That's not true.
I wonder if we'll see those pictures of Hillary and Epstein. I wonder if we'll see those pictures. And I wonder if Hillary will ever be asked about Zorro Ranch. As of now, we haven't heard anything. And that interview happened after the testimony. Unfortunately, because that probably would have been brought up in the testimony, we would have made it viral enough that the members of Congress that were there would have seen it. But let's do this since I had mentioned this. Do you guys remember this story out of California where the massive child molester got released from prison because of a new Gavin Newsom law? Child predator cleared for parole, arrested after surprise warrant drops hours before prison release. David Allen Funston, 64 years old, was transferred to Placer County authorities after serving 25 years for sexual abuse of children. Set to walk free this week, was instead turned over to law enforcement after a new arrest warrant was issued. So, looks like not getting out. Thank goodness. So looks like some good guys there in California made sure that this monster would not get out of prison despite that new law that Newsom signed. And that's what it would have been. Speaking of, I guess we'll stay on this. You may have heard some snowball fight or something happened in New York City, and people started throwing balls with objects in them. There was rumors. Well, one person got arrested because the police officers were getting hit in the face and, bodily harm was done to them. So one person got arrested. The district attorney, Alvin Bragg, released that individual today. And so here was the follow-up after that.
Did you put rocks in the sound?
We can answer some questions.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah.
I will answer some questions.
Okay, no problem. Some very serious claims being made right now, including that saying that he put rocks in the snow before throwing them at officers.
This is the first I'm hearing of rocks in the snow. I don't know where you got that from. There's nothing in the criminal complaint that says that.
You've mentioned in court that you felt this was politicized. How's it been politicized?
I think it's obvious to most New Yorkers. I think the police have an issue with the mayor of our city. I think they're taking it out on Mr. Koulibaly. They want to pick a fight with the mayor. I don't think this is the way they should be doing it. From what I've seen, there are not many things that the mayor and I agree on. I'm not the biggest fan. However, I did see the videos. And my client, according to them, I haven't seen a specific indication that my client was throwing a snowball. But going based upon what they said, that they have an indication that he actually threw a snowball, that's all it was. There's no information that there were rocks, that these were ice snowballs. The police went so far as to charge him with a C violent felony. Okay.
Does that raise a due process issue in your view that other people are getting similar charges?
Well, I don't think that's a due process issue. I think it's selective prosecution. I don't know how they decided on Mr. Koulibaly. Frankly, we're not there yet. All I can go by is what I heard in the courtroom and what I had in this criminal complaint. And thankfully, the DA Bragg was and his assistant who's handling the case was able to see through the politicization of this and reduced it to obstructing governmental administration.
You said you saw the videos, and they're claiming that in the videos it shows that they have ice.
I have not seen it. I've seen the video that most people see on TV. The DA's office has not provided video to me yet.
You mentioned in court that you don't see how your client could have obstructed government administration when he didn't know what the administration was. What about the harassment? Was your client harassing folks?
Well, I don't know if it's harassment. What I did say in court is, at worst, this could be a summonsable offense, which is harassment, disorderly conduct. That is a possibility. But again, I have not seen the proof. That's going to come with the discovery phase of the case. So I don't know what specific proof they have that my client did anything.
How do you categorize and you said your client's a content creator? Is this sort of a product of that?
No, this has absolutely nothing to do with that. And because it's an open case, I can't really discuss that.
So, in other words, a bunch of people took advantage of an innocent snowball fight to start throwing rocks and ice balls at police officers. They hit them in the face. They did damage. And now the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, is going to come in and make sure that none of them end up in jail. Now, whether that individual is one of them or not, who knows how far this case ends up going. But that's what's obviously happening here. Alvin Bragg is making sure that whoever it was that assaulted the police officers that day are not going to get any jail time. So once again, screw the police officers. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine being a police officer in a district where Democrats run it and a Soros district attorney runs it, and you know they don't have your back, and they still go out there and do it? That's wild. By the way, that name, he says, apparently this individual's from Africa. Koulibaly. Koulibaly. Well, that is a West African name. In fact, you guys should check out a band from West Africa called Amadou and Mariam. They wrote a song called Koulibaly. How did you expect that one? Nobody saw that curveball coming. Nobody saw that plot twist. A music recommendation, a West African band recommendation, Amadou and Mariam, and their song Koulibaly. Here you go. I'll even help you out one more. I'll even do you one better. I'll even show you the album art. Of course, I can't play the music because I'll get dinged, but there you go. That's a West African band, Amadou and Mariam, and that's one of their hits, Koulibaly. And actually, if you go listen, I think they have 3 studio albums, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that band has 3 studio albums. You'll actually recognize Westerners, American bands constantly rip off and turn their music into Westernized music. So you'll actually end up recognizing some of their music if you go listen to that. Koulibaly happens to be one of those songs. None of you had that. None of you saw that plot twist. Not a single one of you saw that one coming. How do you like that? What other host gives you that? None. That's who. Guys, I want to see if we can. I'm not sure if this is live or not, but CNN is playing this entire post press conference. Comer is up on the stand. Comer is on the stand right now. I think it looks like CNN is playing the whole thing. I want to go to this.
Quick as we can get them all uploaded and cleaned up, any background noise or anything like that, then we will release them hopefully in the next 24 hours.
I know there's been, you've been asked repeatedly about Secretary Lutnick as well. While this deposition was playing out, President Trump said that Secretary Lutnick would testify. Have you made a decision yet on whether you're going to call him there?
Well, we have a lot of questions about anyone who spent time with Epstein post-conviction, the first conviction. I think that's where, and if anyone disagrees, feel free to speak up, but I think that's where most of our concerns are. Once you, Jeffrey Epstein, was a sex offender, why did you continue a relationship? So stay tuned.
Mr. Chairman,
Why do you think today was more respectful than yesterday? Was President Clinton more cooperative than Pelosi?
Well,
We were respectful.
yeah,
I think
you can watch the video and say, everybody knows President Clinton. He's got Southern people skills. He's a charming individual, obviously.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. You have said in the past that Hillary Clinton were not accused of any wrongdoing connected to Jeffrey Epstein. After 2 days of asking them very tough questions in that regard, do you still feel the same way, that there's no reason to think that they're connected to any wrongdoing?
Well, they said they weren't. I guess innocent until proven guilty. We're going to go back and look at. The reason Ms. Clinton complained about being asked the same question over and over is because we presented different emails, different documents that would suggest that she was close with Epstein and Maxwell, and obviously she denied that. Now we're going to go back and verify that to see if any type of perjury was committed. Chad.
Thank you, Chairman. President Trump said today that he knew nothing about the Epstein files and he was exonerated. Do you agree that he is exonerated of this matter?
From all the evidence I've seen, he's been exonerated for a long time.
And would that preclude your committee, if that's your position, from your committee calling it?
We'll discuss that as we move forward. Obviously, we've got more people to bring in, and we'll see if any new evidence arises. But right now, I haven't seen anything. And if anybody,
Can I just say this? The Epstein victims have exonerated President Trump. This is a trope that you guys are, a rabbit hole you guys are going down, but he's been exonerated over and over again by Epstein victims. We need to get all the information on co-conspirators. We still even have the names of all the co-conspirators because the Southern District of New York is hiding that information by redacting those names.
Can I follow up?
Wait,
Can I follow up?
real quick, if I
Here's
can
my
also
question.
just add into
Here's my
that.
question. Let me just follow up. If that's the case, though, you can make the case, the chairman makes the case about why it's so important to hear in great detail from both Clintons, but why it's not.
If I can just elaborate real quick. Was on Epstein's plane 26 flights. I mean, he had information with them for hours and hours.
Real quick, Chad, if I can just add in, President Clinton, and you guys will all be able to hear specifically what he said, referenced a 2002, 2003 conversation of which he did not feel that President Trump had any wrongdoing in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. It's incredibly important that you guys see through the partisan nature of what has become this entire investigation. It's also important that you guys are reporting the fact that everything that we are seeing in these documents, to include what I presented to both the Secretary and President Clinton, show that Epstein was running an intelligence operation. He was targeting people specifically, and he was intentionally bringing in and using women to traffic in minors and then exposing vulnerabilities for different people. What I will also say is that, like Nancy has said and the chairman, there is nothing that we are seeing where there's criminal involvement or reason to believe that the president has any wrongdoing, and that is why we are not supporting this crazy theory in bringing him into all of this. We appreciate that President Clinton said what he did, and I will say that that has probably been, I guess, the silver lining of this.
And I will say Secretary Clinton and President Clinton both offered a suggestion, advice on where this investigation should go based on information they have, things that they've seen, experiences in their positions. And that's helpful to this entire thing. And again, this has been not partisan. We saw really great questions from the Democrat side of the Oversight Committee and the Republican side today. I was very impressed with where this went today.
Nancy, can I ask, when have survivors said to you that President Trump is exonerated? Because they've only ever told me they want to see it.
Nope, I've never heard that from a single victim.
when we met on the committee, the Republicans and Democrats met with, what were there, 5 or 6 survivors that we met with 2 of, and their attorneys. Of course, the Democrats asked that question numerous times to the victims, and they all said they never saw anything or heard anything that Donald Trump did wrong, never saw him on the island or anything
And
else.
if I can just add in real quickly, also there was false allegations made against President Clinton. Okay, we are not going to bring in people that were making false allegations against either president. That's not what you do in this. Okay. We're looking for justice, and that's why we're going to be bringing in some of the known co-conspirators that were given plea deals. Okay. That's justice. Congressman Loom, you did a great job on that. Thank you.
Last question.
Have you raised that concern to the Attorney General?
I have raised my concerns with action to the Southern District of New York, a letter of the DOJ and the CIA.
My advice to the Department of Justice is release the documents and unredact the names of anyone who wasn't a victim. And I think one of the issues we have, can you be a victim and a victimizer? That's a question that we're going to talk about as we move forward. Now, we look forward to seeing you next week in Washington. We will have further announcements of where we're going with the investigation, but we have 2 more depositions already booked, one with Jeffrey Epstein's accountant and one with Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. So those are forthcoming. We'll probably announce some more people we're going to bring in prior to those depositions. But I think we had a good 2 days in New York City. I appreciate the Clintons being here. Wish it wasn't so hard to get them here, but as often is the case, it was more difficult than it should have been. But thank you all for being here, and we look forward to releasing the video and the transcript as soon as possible. Thank you all.
You've been listening to Republican House.
Okay, so we picked that up in the back half. The Oversight Committee departing from Chappaqua. They'll be back in D.C. You know, we know how these things work. As the attention to detail on the Epstein files continues, as the exposure of the massive cover-up of Pam Bondi and the DOJ and the FBI continues, as the Oversight Committee and other members of Congress start to hone in on potential justice for the Epstein files, does that kind of up the chances that we get a strike on Iran tonight or this weekend?
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, guys, it's time for you to take your coffee break. Go ahead, take your coffee break. And you might say, I don't have enough time. There's no time for me to take a coffee break. How can you do this to me? Well, at blackoutcoffee.com, there is time, because they have premium instant coffee, the best instant coffee. In fact, really, there is no other instant coffee. There's instant something that might pretend to be coffee, but there's no other instant coffee. There's only premium instant coffee from blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. They're doing a volume sale right now. 15% off 1 box, 20% off 2 boxes, 25% off 3 boxes, 30% off 4 boxes. Folks, if you run a business, this is such a great thing to put in your kitchen. Put a box or 2 of the premium instant coffee in your kitchen. People are in a rush. If you're a coffee drinker, wouldn't you want it instantly? Who likes to sit around and wait for that pot of coffee to brew? Oh, isn't it the longest? How long does that take? Days? Weeks? You're sitting there waiting for the coffee? Oh, my gosh. It feels like forever. Not anymore. Not with premium instant coffee from blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. I'm telling you, you got coffee drinkers at the office. Just put a couple of boxes of this in there. They'll find it. They'll love it. They'll thank you for it. You might even get a little bit more out of them. And you will save their time because they won't have to wait for that brew. So that's the premium instant coffee. But, of course, they do have their bags of coffee as well. Ground or whole bean, light roast, medium roast, and dark roast. It's all available at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. And by the way, if you haven't tried Blackout Coffee yet, you can go there right now. And with coupon code Owen, get 20% off. You heard that right. With coupon code Owen, you can get 20% off right now your first order at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen, the official coffee of the Owen Report.
Back to the show with your favorite talk show host, Tits McGee.
All right, third and final hour for this week, guys. We still got quite a bit of content to get to. And then we got a bunch of super chats to get to as well. How much do we have left here? We're going to be able to do it all. I got these two videos. This guy is being visited now by Homeland Security over social media posts. It's happening. It's happening. And he did a video yesterday, and I was already planning on showing it. Then he did a follow-up video today. So we're going to do the first one and then the follow-up. But this is happening now. It's Trump. It's Trump's Department of Homeland Security. People are being visited over social media posts.
I got an interesting visit today from the Department of Homeland Security and the Secret Service. Yeah, no bullshit. 6 black SUVs out front of my house, shut down the street, interrogating all my neighbors about me, asking questions like I'm some kind of internationally wanted war criminal, all over my social media posts. No bullshit. Yeah, they left me a little placard. And on the placard, it says, POTUS threat, because I would ever, or have I ever, threatened the president of the United States over fucking Instagram. It's just not my style. You know what I mean? But let's be honest, that's not what this is about. This is an intentional bullying campaign. This is an intimidation to get me to shut the fuck up, okay? And it's not happening. I don't fear your threats. I fear no man. I don't even fear death. The only thing I fear is God. Okay. And if the truth that I spread makes me your enemy, then you better sharpen your fucking sword. Because I would rather die standing in my convictions than ever bow like a fucking coward. Instead of wasting taxpayer dollars and time, energy, and resources, come investigate me. Why don't you put that same energy into tracking motherfuckers down from the Epstein files? Why don't you put that same energy into tracking down actual pedophiles so I don't have to do it on my free time? How about you put that same time and energy into investigating anyone from the Epstein files that's in our federal government right now as we speak? The cherry on top of all this is I'm no stranger to being on the Fed's radar. Okay, I've been on the FBI watch list for I don't even know how long. The International Organized Crime Database. I mean, all the above. And I have never, not a single time, ever been harassed over my social media posts.
Now, Ricky_HD on Instagram. We're going to do a follow-up video from him today, and it's my best understanding the reason he's getting these visits is, I mean, do we need to take a guess? Do we know what the odds-on favorite here is? I think it's pretty obvious. He posts critical of Israel. He has posts that are highly critical of Israel, and so that's my best estimation as to why they're doing this. And of course, when you're a goyim that's all tatted up like that, that really scares the Israeli interests. They really scared of that. So that's he doesn't explain in that video. But going through his social media and seeing his posts pop up before, I imagine that's what it is. Now the irony here, and we know that the Trump administration is prioritizing cracking down on speech, anti-Semitic speech specifically. They are. So we do know that's happening. The irony of this is that, and he doesn't get into his history. The irony, though, is these are the types of individuals that used to be targeted by Joe Biden's administration. And now it's the same people that are critical of a foreign country that are being targeted by the Trump administration. And, of course, MAGA is silent on this now, or whatever is left of it, because what is left of MAGA is actually MEGA. And so that's why they don't want to speak out about this, because I guess they probably support it. Here was his follow-up video today.
Yesterday, I posted up a video how I got a visit from our friends at the Secret Service, and how they were interrogating all my neighbors about me, asking questions and all this other stuff. And I had people in the comments that were like, nah, that never happened. That would never happen, bro. Like, the government would never do that. Really, it's right here. You see at the top of this placard, it says Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service. And then down here, it says Special Agent Killingsworth. That's the special agent in charge of investigating me for my social media posts. And then it says POTUS threat, because I've ever done that. And then there's a phone number. I tried calling that phone number this morning because I wanted to talk to him about some things. So I went on the Department of Homeland Security's website, and on their website, they have an actual definition of what they say a threat is. Let me read it to you. A threat is a statement or action indicating an intention to harm or cause damage. Now, I can guarantee with 100% certainty, I have never said that I'm going to harm the Chomo in chief ever in my life, because I don't wish him harm. I wish for justice. I wish he would stand up for the American people and American interests and American taxpayers. I wish that he would cut ties with Israel. I wish that he would actually investigate and start holding hands in the fire of individuals that harm children in the Epstein files. That's what I wish, and he can't do that if he's harmed. But like I said, this is an intentional bullying technique. This is for them to intimidate me into shutting up. It's just not going to happen, okay? But for those of you that say that the government would never do that, they absolutely would.
wearing a shirt that says curb stomp your local pedophile. And maybe that's what did it. Maybe that's what did it. Maybe the Department of Homeland Security doesn't like you taking up violence against pedophiles. The Department of Justice of the Homeland Security seems to be more interested in protecting pedophiles. So maybe that's the one that, maybe it wasn't the Israel thing. Maybe it was the rhetoric against pedophiles that did it. Maybe a combo. Maybe a little 1-2 punch. Hey, did you guys hear about this? This actually happened at the end of January. How did I not hear about this? Professor Francis Boyle found dead only days after he agreed to testify against Bill Gates and Albert Bourla over the alleged dangers of the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines. Now, Dr. Francis Boyle, I actually got the opportunity to interview him twice at the beginning of 2020. And I just happened to kind of, you might say lucky, but he broke the interview that I did with him in January 2020 or February 2020. There were two of them. I saw that my Clips account had uploaded one of them. We are going to try and also post those two interviews on the YouTube, on the Owen Report YouTube channel. If they aren't already, there were two interviews. He broke that. That was an exclusive. At the beginning of 2020, Dr. Francis Boyle told me that COVID-19 was made in a lab. Now, again, it just so happened I got to do that interview because Alex Jones was out of town. I was filling in on the Alex Jones show. He was scheduled to be on the Alex Jones show. Alex couldn't be there. I filled in. So I happened to get those two exclusive interviews with Dr. Francis Boyle. And he broke that news on those shows. He broke that for the first time in the American media that COVID-19 was made in a lab. And this was before it was even a big story. So, and he's no longer with us. Really a great man, a hero. And you have to wonder about the suspicions there, ladies and gentlemen. You have to wonder. Well, one person is not being deported. Take a look. Columbia student detained by ICE will be released after Mamdani meeting with President Trump. So Mamdani has now had two meetings, it's my understanding, with Trump, and I think he's going to D.C. soon. Yeah. I wonder how they, how do you think they convinced, guys, what do you think was the convincing factor on that deal? Why did that student get to stay? Any ideas? Any ideas why they're letting this student stay and not get deported? Elmina Agayeva from Colombia. DHS said she was an illegal immigrant from Azerbaijan, but they're going to let her stay. I can't quite put my finger on it. Somebody might like to put their finger on it. Maybe that's why she's still here. You know, just come out with the policy. Come out with the policy. Just like in the movie, Ali G in the House. If you've ever seen Ali G in the House, that's a funny one. There's your movie for the weekend. It happens organically. You know, this stuff happens organically. If you've never seen the movie Ali G in the House, that's a riot. That's guaranteed for a few belly laughs, 100%. And then you'll understand maybe the policy that I'm talking about. I won't spoil it. Maybe you'll understand the policy as to why she gets to stay. Maybe. But, you know, whatever it is, I think we're okay with it, right? We all right? Can we keep the Azerbaijan, the babe from Azerbaijan? She stays. Ali G in the House. There's your movie for the weekend. All right. Let's get into some light stuff here. We'll get into some of the lighter stuff before we go to the super chats. Okay, so a new cheeseburger coming to McDonald's for no one in the audience, that because I doubt anybody in this audience eats McDonald's. I'm not recommending it, but you'll probably see some marketing or some of these food influencers. McDonald's biggest half-pound burger ever and calorie bomb is finally coming to the United States. Here's when and how much it would cost. It's called the Big Arch. The Big Arch burger will be rolling out on Tuesday, March 3rd. By the way, Tuesday, March 3rd. So you got the Big Arch coming out. Tuesday, March 3rd is also like super blood moon, super red moon, blood moon. I forget the exact nature. It's a very rare one. So on 3/3, you can't make this stuff up. We're in a simulation. March 3rd, 3/3 at 3:33 a.m. prime time, super blood moon time to see it. 3/3, 3/33. And I guess I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but you could probably even crunch the numbers of 2026 into there. Anybody can do it. Just find a way to make those numbers into another 3. I'm sure you can find a way. So 3/3, 3/33, super blood moon next week. And the Big Arch burger comes out. There you go. Hey, did you know, though, apparently the beef that they use for the double quarter pounder is actual, like that's the only real beef or something. It's like that's different beef that they use for that than that they use for all their other burgers. I wonder what beef they're using. I guess it is going to be the quarter pounder. It's the Big Arch features 2 quarter-pound beef patties, 3 slices of melted white cheddar cheese, crispy onions, silver raw onions, lettuce, pickles, and Big Arch sauce. I think I might have one, actually. I'm going to make my own, though. I'm going to do it at my own house. I'm going to make my own Big Arch burger. Should I do that? Should I make my own Big Arch burger? This one is going to be 1,020 calories. So if you eat one of these bad boys, get up and get moving, burn those calories. What if I made my own Big Arch burger? This is the CEO. This is like, man, you gotta do better marketing than this. You got to do better marketing than this. The CEO decides he's going to be the one to market the Big Arch burger. Let's watch how it goes.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it. Here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already.
You know, funny enough, he actually looks like Archie Manning, doesn't he? He looks like Archie Manning. Chris K, the CEO of McDonald's, showing you the Big Arch.
Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow.
He's the CEO of McDonald's. They couldn't even fill your fry. Oh, and a little slim. We're a little short stacked on the fries here, Chris.
God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth.
That's it? That's it? Did you even get any beef in that bite? What are we doing here? Oh my, come on. Did you want to eat it? This is not working for me.
That is so good. That big bite from
That's not a big bite.
Big Arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You know, you've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch. But Big Arch,
Well,
try it when you can get it.
prove
Chris
it.
K here.
Prove that you enjoyed the rest of it. Oh, here we go again. Fire up the cloning factory. Send one out to McDonald's. All right. Send my clone out to McDonald's. I need to sit down with old Chris here. You know, I'm not against McDonald's. Look, I don't promote it. It's not health food. I don't eat it, but I'm not against McDonald's. It's an American staple. When I was a broke college student, I ate way too much McDonald's. It's all we could afford. By the way, that's when you could go get a burger for $1. By the way, they had the $1 menu. You could actually go there. I think a double cheeseburger was like $1.20. So you could, if you had $5, you could go there and get a couple burgers. That's what broke college students. That's what we were doing back in the day. I don't know if you can still do that. So I'm not like anti-McDonald's, whatever. It's McDonald's, it's America. Okay, it's fine. Definitely not healthy. But clone me and send me out. All right. Clone me. You gotta clone me and you gotta send me out to Chris K's office. Chris, look. You gotta do better than that. Okay. You gotta do better than that. And if you're gonna it's like he was trying to do the whole food influencer thing, and he didn't do enough homework because that's not how it's done. If you're going to do it, you got to finish it. You got to eat the whole thing. You got to prove that you ate the whole thing. And the first bite is the most important bite. The first bite is like, that's the one you crush. And you had a little nibble, like that SpongeBob meme where the teeth come out and it's in the Krabby Patty. I think that was Squidward with the Krabby Patty. Not gonna do it. Not doing it for me. You got to send me out there. I need to fix this for you guys. Clone me, send a clone out there. We can take care of this. We can do a better video. Hire a food influencer. They get athletes to market this stuff now. Hire an athlete. You got to do better than that, my friend. It's like, what is the pinky out? What are we doing? What? How am I going to attack this thing? What are you doing, brother? You attack it then. You don't ask how you attack it. You just attack it. He's like, pinky out, nibble. What are we doing, man? I can help you. I can help you. In fact, if you get this message, do a redo. You can save it. You can redeem yourself. Do a redo and say, you know what? I'd never done a food video. I was a little embarrassed. It's a little self-deprecating to eat on camera. That's true. You don't want people watching you when you eat, especially a Big Arch, this big sloppy burger. You're going to be a mess. It's going to be falling everywhere. So it's a little embarrassing. You don't want people watching you. You just say, you know what? I have to conquer my fear now. I'm the CEO of McDonald's. I need to conquer my fear. Watch me crush this burger. And then you eat the whole thing on video. That's the only thing you probably will sell 1 million more. I give this advice out for free. I'm a charitable person. But anyway, somebody decided to take a Big Mac to a welding center and check out the results. I'm not sure whether that's I'm not sure whether that's worse for McDonald's or just proof that our stomach acid is really an incredible thing. I don't know what. Maybe a little of both on that deal. Okay. So from one American burger company to the next. Whataburger. Whataburger. What's the best burger company? What is the best fast food burger? Is Five Guys considered a fast food burger? Because Five Guys probably has the best burger going right now, but definitely not cheap. And I don't think maybe you would consider it fast food. In-N-Out, maybe. In-N-Out might be the best fast food burger. We got a place in Texas called P. Terry's. If you knew about P. Terry's, that would probably rank up there. So, and then there's Five Guys. A lot of people are big Five Guys fans. Whataburger. A lot of people are Whataburger fans. Not my choice. The only time I ever liked Whataburger, they had a 24-hour Whataburger in just outside of PCB in Florida and the Panhandle. And we would go there at like 3, 4 in the morning on spring break, if you catch my drift. So Whataburger is, they got a bit of an interesting controversy on their hands here. I don't like this. They need to fix this. Again, clone me again. Send the clone out to Whataburger. Christian South Carolina worker, a Whataburger employee, fired for positive food reviews of Whataburger with Jesus loves you message. This is like, honestly, this is one of those things that kind of breaks your heart a little bit. Here's this young guy working at Whataburger, nice young guy, Christian guy. He goes out after he's off his shift. He just sits down. He's outside. He's sitting on the ground. He's eating food. He talks about how much he likes it. In fact, I have the videos here. I can't believe that they fired him for this. And so people are thinking, is it because he was Christian? Because it can't be because there was a negative review. We need to save. In fact, this poor guy. Take a look. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here.
First off, trying the Dr. Pepper milkshake at Whataburger, and come to the Whataburger on Platte Springs Road, Lexington, South Carolina. It tastes the best.
They should have been giving him a raise. They should be giving him a bonus for doing this. He gets fired? Who made this decision? Clone me and send me out there. You guys need a disaster PR campaign right now.
And this is the Blackberry Dr. Pepper milkshake. So good.
Actually, I take that back. My clone that's working for McDonald's, we're actually going to shark this guy. So I'm sorry, you guys are too late. My McDonald's clone actually has already hired this guy. We've offered him a job. He's going to be working in the kitchen and be doing videos after he gets off his shift, promoting the McDonald's food and the one he works at. And we're going to pay him a salary for that. So actually, you guys are too late. No clone for you. And look, and he can teach the CEO how to do a food eating video. See how that's how you do it. Look at that. He's not even breathing. He doesn't even breathe. He's already taken 5 bites of a milkshake without even a breath.
What's some French fries?
Oh, look at this. This guy's a pro.
Don't even get me started with the fries. I dip them in the milkshake.
A pro. A food combo? The food combo? This is a pro right here.
Then I ordered the patty melt from Whataburger.
Look at this. He's got the brand recognition. He's got the logo. He even knows to say Whataburger again. This is a pro right here.
I ordered the patty melt from Whataburger. Okay, they made it exactly as I requested. I mean, I didn't get the American cheese, but that's fine. Actually, it's a full-on patty melt because the patty melt comes with the white cheese, the Monterey cheese or whatever.
That bite. No doubt about that bite. Nobody's doubting that.
Everybody on TikTok this is Dr.
Look, they're giving him love now. He's even a local celebrity.
Pepper Shake. This ain't no damn Dr. Pepper Shake. Lying like a motherfucker.
It's so good though.
What you lying to these people for?
What? I mean, my TikTok.
That ain't no Dr. Pepper thing.
This is a Dr. Pepper milkshake.
That ain't no Dr. Pepper thing or whatever.
That's the
you gotta
patty milk.
stop lying during them drugs, man. People food squat.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be eating a grilled chicken. I don't know. Home. See you guys in the next video. Jesus loves you. Peace out.
So people are thinking it was because he promotes Jesus is why they terminated him. So unfortunately for Whataburger, my clone that works now at McDonald's, we've already sniped this guy. He's going to be working at McDonald's now. We're gonna give him a salary, and we're gonna have him doing his videos on TikTok now for us. By the way, that video had almost 1 million likes on TikTok. Are these people nuts? What? You should be giving this guy a raise. You fired him? Have you lost your damn mind? Apparently, they're loading. What the hell? Oh my gosh, they shut down the Yelp review page. Apparently, the Yelp reviews were coming in so hot against this Whataburger for firing him that they've now shut down the Yelp review. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? By the way, on the burger front, quick shout out from DMT. He says P. Terry's. Whenever he comes to ATX, the P. Terry connection eventually goes down. It is true. It is true. I'm a cheeseburger guy. I will admit it. I think the cheeseburger is the greatest. I think the cheeseburger is the greatest American food invention of all time. There's so many ways. It's like the pizza. It's like Italians have pizza. We have cheeseburgers. And there's so many different ways you can customize a pizza. There's so many different ways you can customize a cheeseburger. If you don't like cheeseburgers, get out. Leave the chat. Go home. You're done for the day. Maybe you can come back next week. If you're a cheeseburger hater, we don't want you here. That is un-American. You're a dirty commie if you don't like cheeseburgers. Get out. All right, let's have a little more fun here. Laura Loomer. Have you ever seen a spiral and a crash out greater than this? The Tucker Carlson derangement syndrome has hit this woman probably worse than anybody else on the planet. Now she's attacking Alp, the nicotine pouch that Tucker Carlson is behind. And I read this story about her hit piece, which appears to be completely illegitimate. You know, Laura Loomer, who tries to pride herself on her journalistic integrity, it seems that she has sacrificed all of it in this report. With stuff like this, Tucker Carlson's Alp pouch under fire as alleged FBI violations plague nicotine product during critical approval phase. It doesn't seem to be anywhere else but here. And it actually reads like a hilarious comedy. I thought I was reading The Onion. I thought I was reading an Onion article. Oh, Tucker's fake MAGA. So it's like a Tucker hit piece. And then she just appears to make stuff up about whatever Alp is going through in FDA approval or whatever. RFK likes Alp. She's upset with that. So I'm not really sure where she's getting any of this. This seems to be a total Tucker crash out. It seems to be. And then she's claiming that it seems like the only claim that she can make here is they were doing some joke. Theo Von made some joke about using it rectally or using it to improve your libido. Theo Vaughn is a comedian. They were obviously making jokes, having a laugh. So that seems to be her thing that she's claiming is like the whole thing that's going to bring down ALP. The whole thing reads like an Onion article. This is Carlson derangement syndrome. It's actually hilarious. If you want to read this story, it's actually hilarious. But you can see all these members of the Trump administration love ALP. FBI director, Senator Haggerty, everybody loves ALP. So she's totally crashing out. I wonder how long it took her to find all these members of the administration, all these people in D.C. that love ALP. She's mad because Larry Loomer beat this is just, I'm telling you, this is hilarious. oh man. Oh, thank you for the laugh. I mean, look at this. Just total crash out here. She's owning herself in this too. She can't. So anyway, I'm not a nicotine user. I tried the old crew. They had a bunch of guys that liked the nicotine pouches. And I think you may remember I did this on air one day. And I tried one. And it was probably like the max whatever milligrams, because I'm sure those guys use like the heaviest nicotine pouches. So I tried one day. I didn't like it. So I don't like the nicotine pouches personally. I don't use the nicotine pouches, but I'm going to tell you what right now. I think in honor of that, I think I'm gonna buy some ALP patches and just like give them out. What do you guys think? I already made the pitch. I said, ALP, we got to bring you on the show. I already made the pitch. I think so. This is not a paid advertisement. I wanted to get ALP on, but I don't use nicotine, so it didn't really, it didn't really work. I think I'm going to make an ALP purchase. What should I get here, guys? What do you recommend? I don't use nicotine. I'm not a fan. Maybe I will. Maybe out of respect for Laura Loomer's crash out and her Carlson derangement syndrome and her deep research into ALP nicotine pouches, maybe I think it's time for me to give it a try. What else do they have here? Oh, they got the slide case. Ooh, look at that. That's some elite stuff. Chilled mint, 3 strengths. What should I do here, guys? I have to tell you, the combo pack looks nice. A lightweight like me probably would want the 3. I'm assuming it looks 3 to 9 is a lightweight like myself probably is going to be on the 3 scale. We'll work our way up. Sweet nectar sounds nice. Sweet nectar. I hear great things about nicotine. What all do we have here? We have caffeine pouches? Whoa. Hold on a second. I didn't even know this was a thing. I'm a caffeine addict. I'm about to actually have my own product with caffeine. Little tease here. Look at oh my God, they have a belt. This is out of control. So congratulations. I want to congratulate Laura Loomer on her Tucker Carlson derangement syndrome crash out. You are going to help ALP sell more nicotine, even to people like me that don't even use it. In fact, I didn't even know they had caffeine pouches. Now I'm actually might be a legitimate customer. I didn't know that. So there you go. Okay. Wow. Congratulations. We're having fun. We're having fun, guys, aren't we? What a great time. Buy stock. I doubt there's no way it's public. You can't buy stock in ALP. I'll look it up right now. I don't believe you. So many gaslighters in the chat. You guys ever notice that? Yeah, get out of here. So many gaslighters. Although I like this. What is alpha token at 0.003 cents? That makes it into a penny. You'll be rich. So there you go. The ALP belt. I see all the chat. I got X, Rumble, and YouTube. There's a lot of gaslighters out there. Like, you guys are claiming there's bad audio today. I don't think I believe you. I don't think that's true. I've had no hiccups on my end. You might be being honest. I've had no hiccups on my end. My internet is showing no issues. Probably some gremlins. Probably some tech demons, some gremlins that don't want us to do well. I mean, I'm firing off at 430 Mbps right now. And we're down to 390. Maybe we will get a Starlink. What do you guys think? Should I get a Starlink? It's so obnoxious. I have a whole separate internet just for this studio to be wired into the internet. So I don't know if there's an issue. I can't see it. It's not on my end. I'm now being told, this is wild. What a Friday. What a way to close out the week. I'm now being told our friends, we won't go public yet. We'll do a little deep tease here. But our friends that we're going to have two proprietary products. We're going to have two proprietary products coming out soon. And our friends that we're working on those products with, apparently we can make our own caffeine pouches. Whoa. So we're working on stuff. We got a lot of stuff going, and I'm the man. I need to clone myself. Actually, I need to have my own clone, kind of like Jim Carrey at that award ceremony. By the way, whoever is running the White House social media stuff is just out of control. They did some AI video with Brady Kachuk where he's insulting Canadians after the gold medal game. And look, let's be honest, the Canadians are having a rough time. They're really having a rough time with this loss. It's not been fun for them. And for Brady Kachuk, who actually plays for the Ottawa Senators, I think he might even be their captain, actually. Yeah, he is their captain. So that's a Canadian hockey team. The White House puts out this AI video of Brady Kachuk insulting Canadians, and he did not take kindly to that. He pushed back on that, said he didn't appreciate that. Who's ever running the president and the White House social medias is like a bit out of control. And they obviously lied when they said it all goes through Trump. That was obviously a lie. They got caught in that lie. So, man, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's do one thing. We'll do one thing here. Wild conspiracy to close off the show. Wild conspiracy theory to close off. So people are asking about, this old architecture. This is in Rome. We built this. Some people think we inherited this from a prior life form. Maybe aliens. Do we build like this anymore? Asked me to build like this anymore. This beauty standard is gone. It is. It's gone. The conspiracy theory is that these were either, Nephilim or some other type of life form. Used to live here. Built all the stuff like this, the capitals, everything else. If that's true, what happened to them? I don't think they died. Did they leave? Did they leave us because we are who we are? Did they leave us because certain people on this planet just can't be tolerated anymore? Are they on a different side of the planet? Are they behind the ice wall? Are they in the hollow earth? Too much. A little too much. I wonder. Okay, guys. Into the super chats we go to close out the show. We got a lot of them today. Let's do this. DZ300. Why can't they make a deal to reduce AI like they did on nukes with Russia? We both reduce the AI race. Why doesn't Trump blackmail his blackmailers? Well, I don't know how. You'd have to have. Are you saying why doesn't he use the Epstein files to blackmail other people? I think some people think he is. The reason why you're not going to get some deal like that on AI is because everybody that's running it right now, all of their interest is to push the pedal to the metal. As I was saying the other day, the companies are set to make massive wealth and the government is set to get more power. So nobody in there is trying to detract. We need an AI hater, detractor, and somebody skeptical of AI to be in these meetings, but nobody is. So it's all about money and power. Sneeko fans troll Ben Shapiro's chat with Free Palestine. I see Ben Shapiro's numbers are dwindling, subscribers going down, the chat's all turned against him. Does he do the Bongino? Does he do the block Gino technique where they just kick everybody out, mute everybody that does the negative commentary in there? I've not heard that. I think that's a block Gino special. Does fault. I'm from Massachusetts, and my brother was listening to WEEI, which is a sports radio goy-slop, and I heard a Kraft anti-Semitism commercial on the radio with Mike Huckabee crying about anti-Semitism. They spent millions of dollars on that. Millions of dollars. How much money do you think they spent on that marketing campaign? At least $10 million. That Super Bowl alone had to be millions of dollars. And of course, it's white guy bad. That's the real message of it, is white guy bad. So it's not like we haven't seen enough of that. Ken Rose, thank you. Captain Hard, today's daily fun fact. Over 70% of slave owners and traders were not white, but whites get 100% of the blame. Can't even say the word. They won't let me send the donation if I do. Well, that's why we got to be smart here. So don't get me in trouble. Yeah, it wasn't even whites. Yeah. That's why they run that commercial. People are starting to learn the real history. We got to get the Robert Maxwell written textbooks out of our school system immediately. How do we start a Jesus lobby that makes our politicians kiss the cross? There's an idea. There's an idea. Well, we don't have the money. BB said Trump is the most pro-Israel president. We had no idea either. Nobody could tell. Anti-Semitism equals free speech. Well, not for long, apparently. Manual labor is anti-Semitic. That was from what is Gene Simmons had a show. I think he might have even said goy. No, Gene Simmons had a TV show, and he was like, we don't do manual labor. He was talking about somebody working on his car. Oh, boy. Anthony Aguilar. Sometimes you just have to go to war, says someone who's never fought in a war, never served, and actually dodged the draft. President Trump. That's actually true. Yeah. Yeah. You'd think they would have learned from COVID. Media crackdown and censorship makes the problem and backlash 10 times worse. The problem is they always win in the first couple quarters, and that's when we have to deal with the pain. And a lot of time that becomes permanent damage, like what they did with the economy. Corn Pop, you just saved me $13.99 on my Paramount Plus premium. So here, you can have some of that, brother. Star Trek, Strange New Worlds wasn't getting much better anyway. Hey, yeah, I think I'm done too. I can't support this foreign interest monopoly company. So I think I'm done. They need to see it. I'm probably going to pull my Paramount Plus subscription. So this will be my last month on it. I don't follow Star Trek, but that seemed to be one of the biggest complaints when conservatives were saying, oh, this is great. No more liberal, progressive bullcrap. Paramount's taking over for Netflix. And then everybody was saying, did you see what they did to Star Trek? So you may know more about that than me. But they all do it. It's not about that. Again, this isn't about left, right, conservative, liberal. This is all about getting Paramount to run as many media operations to protect the foreign interests. Freedom isn't free, requires sacrifice to RemFam. I think that's sarcasm. I'm 36 and still rock the Pikachu backpack. Is it the same one? Cornelius Westernmost. More esoteric Owen, please. I love when you bring concepts of time, origins of humanity, Graham Hancock, Jimmy Corsetti, lost civilizations, forbidden history, Antarctica, and the like to the table. That's really a strong side hand that I have. I don't play those cards often. I don't play those cards often, but I got them. They're hidden. They're at the desk. They're actually hidden. They're hidden under my leg, so I kind of hide them under there so people can't see them. Every once in a while, I play them. It's an old card trick. So I do like that stuff, but that's not, most of the audience is not necessarily into that. So we just kind of pepper it. They can't be traitors when they were fake Americans to begin with. You know? When are we setting up the floating Waffle House? Who do I call? Who do I call? I'm telling you, we could put a floating Waffle House on Lake Travis. We'd have to get the right location. I mean, I do know a couple people that have those big boating slips. They sell those boating slips. I do know some people. Maybe that's my connection. What do we need? Who wants to help me run this operation? Floating Waffle House will fund the whole show. But it won't be a Waffle House. We'll call it something else. Unless Waffle House wants to get involved. How about a floating Steak and Shake? They're franchising right now. None of the other countries in the Middle East, Europe, Russia, or China is worried about Iran. Why is it only U.S. and Israel who's worried? I'm so tired. Well, I guess that's the $400 billion question, isn't it? Pattern recognition is anti-Semitic, Megyn Kelly. Yeah, they're coming for her, too. I can't stand Megyn Kelly. She had the opportunity in 2016 to ask James Alfantis, owner of Comet Pizza, real questions, including about his Instagram page and the photos on it, but she didn't. You know, my theory on that, I don't remember the exact nature of Megyn Kelly's departure from Fox, but, you know, when you go into the media, there's like, some people have different ideas of where they want to end up or how they want to do it. I think for Megyn, at that time, she figured the number one thing, probably ego-driven, the number one thing for her would be a nightly network news anchor. And I don't mean Fox, I mean NBC. So, like, some people might think Fox is the best to be at. Some people might think, you know, one of the corporate news stations that are the motherships, and NBC is CBS and ABC. They might think that's where you want to be. And I think that that's what Megyn Kelly was going for. I think she wanted to be the network anchor at NBC nightly. So I think, this is my guess, they brought her in. They had her do this hit piece, maybe directly, intentionally to try to destroy Alex Jones. And then ultimately you saw what happened after that hit piece that she came to InfoWars and did. So it didn't work out, obviously. Now she's doing her own thing at Sirius XM. And because she's independent, I think she's maybe more willing and able to say what she really wants or really thinks, as opposed to trying to serve, you know, corporate masters looking to climb the corporate ladder. Is Owen coming across choppy today for anyone? I rebooted the app, but still glitchy. My net connection is strong, so it's not me. Guys, whatever it is, it's not on my end. I've had a strong internet connection, so we either got a tech demon or a gremlin messing with us. Maybe it's on YouTube today. But I have had no problems today. So usually, I mean, I have a bar on my thing that tells me if there's ever bad internet. I've had strong internet the whole time, so I don't know. I don't know, guys. We'll reboot the system. We'll see if that helps. That usually helps. It's been a minute since we've done that. Musical in. Please post your Satan Yahoo repetitive clips over the years. We will post it out there. Well, you get dinged on YouTube for that. I posted it on X. It's on X. It's got over 2 million views. So there you go. Pretty sure Mark Levin got his start in media by calling into Rush Limbaugh. I was probably a little too young to remember how Levin got his start. But actually a lot of, well, I won't say a lot. There's a lot of people that are big-time listeners, callers at a talk radio who end up getting into it. I mean, it's kind of me. Tay, Jennifer K., I told Owen to dump Spectrum. Why do you guys make me do that? There's literally no other options here. So I could get Starlink. That's the only other option, but that's not a hardwired deal. So backed by popular demand, Maybe we'll get Starlink. Where are the 302 forms and the Epstein files? There's a lot of files they're still hiding. Jeffrey Epstein was a Russian spy. Yeah, of course he was. Was it beef jerky pizzas delivered to the Clinton hearing? I don't know. Is that a thing? I've never heard of that. Maybe for an Epstein party. Trump be like, I'm not only going to drain the swamp, I'm going to become part of the swamp. He's a swamp monster. Boiling Point Live got blocked by Block Gina today. He didn't like me showing the receipts. I feel like I should be celebrating. Yeah, you're late to the party. He has to have more people blocked than anyone else. Honestly, I'd like to know. Can X, I wonder if Grok, let me ask Grok. I'm going to ask Grok if he can do this. Let's see. I'm going to ask Grok, who has blocked the most people on X? I'd say it's got to be Levin or Block Gino. I've got them both, by the way. I've collected them all. I've got people that have blocked me I've never even heard of. And I know why that is. I can explain. I don't think Grok will be able to tell me, though. Who has blocked the most people on X? Okay, I get it. It's not publicly known. So it can't go into the data. It can't go into the data to tell me. So I'm asking it to guess based off of people's posts. Someone named David Hundian in Africa. He says that's what he thinks. That's what Grok thinks. What about in America? It just doesn't want to answer. Won't give me an answer. Here's why they do it, though. They send these lists around because the algorithm will punish you if you get blocked. So all of the foreign lobbyists and all of the foreign interest accounts, they send a list out. So if you're unfriendly towards Israel, they put you on a list. They send it out to all the accounts they have on their pro-Israel list, and then they say, block this person. We need to do digital harm and shut down their X reach. This is part of what Netanyahu announces is their internet army, their internet warfare. So that's what they do. If you're not friendly to Israel, they put you on a list. They send the lists out, and then it's people you've never even heard of because they're pro-Israel accounts. Maybe they're part of Netanyahu's influence network. So they send it out, and then they just go and block you. And they figure that's how they can shut you down and limit your reach. So it's literally foreign digital warfare against you. And Trump welcomes this man to the White House. Plot twist, J.E. perps were mostly other women. Well, there were definitely a lot of them. Mark Middleton in Ad to Virginia and Jean-Luc Brunel. Why won't anyone in Congress talk about the adrenochrome, beef jerky, child sacrifice, organ harvesting? I told you they didn't bring it up in the first hearing. The Republicans were told not to. I don't know if that'll, I don't know. I don't, we're still in the first quarter of this. I don't know if it all is, I don't think it's all settled yet. I think something's going to come up. The Democrats will eventually do it. I am Ian Mercurio, PSYOP. Sup Powell. Why didn't one Republican ask Bubba or Hillary why Epstein visited the Clinton White House 17 times in the 1990s? Straight from Whitney Webb's book, The GOP is Worthless. Let's see what happens when they publish the videos first. I wouldn't be surprised if that was asked. So let's just wait and see when they publish these hearings. We don't expose the liars. That building never collapses. God says, Roman 2:10, 28-29. Loved watching The Truman Show last weekend. I say The Passion of the Christ, but if you have something else in mind, let's hear it. We went with Ali G in the House. We're going with a comedy. That's a funny one. That'll guarantee you a couple laughs. Ali G in the House is our movie for this weekend. You have by far the best music. Reunite with Alex. Again with you. It's within your power to literally save the world from nuclear war. Together you can save us. Well, I did see, who was it? Alex went on somebody's show. I think it was Benny Johnson. And he said they're going to bring us, Trump's going to get us into World War III. So we're just trying to stop Trump from doing this. We're just trying to stop Trump from making the worst decision. Oh, we're trying. But it's like one day Alex is all pro-Trump, and then the next he's warning about World War III, so I can't keep up. Not by flesh or blood, but only in spirit. Tay-Tay, occupied government. This view in 3-3 will be from Valhalla. That's where Cash will be. That's a shout out to the super blood moon coming on March 3rd at 3:33 in the morning. Rabbi Norman Finkelstein, secret ingredient is you. Logan Messiak. Has anyone seen the new Jim Carrey interview? Yeah, he showed up at that, what was it, like a French award show, I think? And people are saying it's not Jim Carrey. And you got all the clone, you got all the clone theories going around because of the clone content in the Epstein files. It's more like, who knows? It's more likely that they just have these body doubles, and Jim Carrey probably said, I don't want to go to this thing. So he just hires body doubles and just sends them. But it does, it looks like a different guy, different eye color. People change. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing's weird. Remember when he did the SNL thing where he was like, if you haven't seen that, I think that was SNL. No, wait, that was the Jimmy Kimmel show, I think. Yeah. Jim Carrey went on the Jimmy Kimmel show. He went on one of those night shows, and he said, it's not the all-seeing eye, it's the all-seeing tongue because we're mocking you. Burger CEO reminds me of that Krusty Burger skit. It's Some Guy 2020. I don't know if I've seen that. Mickey D's Goy Slop. James Fishback had a shamrock shake at McDonald's. Oh, I guess, what do you got? St. Patrick's Day coming up soon? St. Patrick's Day in a week or two. So they're bringing back the shamrock shake. Some Goy Slop. I keep hearing rumors of McDonald's using human meat. Can you get it tested? I don't know. Take it to a lab. No, I don't think that's true. I will say, though, there is some ingredient that apparently is derived from human fetuses that I think has been discovered in different drinks. The big conspiracy theory was that Pepsi was doing this or Gatorade was doing this. I don't know. But there is some ingredient that people have traced back to fetal tissue. So, but I don't know where that ends up. Just avoid the junk food. That's how you do it. Oregon Outlaw. McDonald's already has a double quarter pounder burger with cheese, but this one has the lettuce. I guess that one has lettuce. This one has the onions. That one has lettuce. This one has more cheese. And does it have like a bun in it too? Or it has a different bun? A big arch? I'll just make my own. Bro going hard AF at Whataburger. Bless his soul. I'm telling you, they made a big mistake. They made a big mistake firing that guy. Ebu Backs. Oh, and I think you have superb music taste. Do you think playing early Zelda games increased IQ with all the puzzles, etc.? Flawless show. Instant coffee is a game changer. Big shout out. blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. Yeah, the music is old video game music. I've explained before. I get dinged every time I play real music, so we just scrapped that. That's fine. So it's kind of a unique feature of the show anyway. They have determined, we played a clip of this. There was a study and then kind of just a breakdown. Yes, video games have been linked to to increased IQ. Not all games, but some. And what they do now, though, with these new video games is it's all just redundancy. So there isn't any problem solving. There isn't any puzzles. There isn't any, like, trying to figure out how to make it work. And then I think for some of them, I think that they go too far. Like the Zelda on Super Nintendo and N64 was like, that's like as far as you want it to go. It's like now these new Zelda games are way too complex. You can't even barely deal with it. But no, they have linked higher IQ and actually higher testosterone. Now, they believe the higher testosterone is from competition because competition has been linked to higher testosterone. But they also said it playing video games. Did I ever play Sega Genesis? I had a couple friends that had Sega, but I was not a Sega guy. I was a Nintendo guy. So if I was at a couple of friends that had Sega, we'd play. But I had Nintendo. Cheeseburger, pickles, and ketchup only. Yum. Everybody's got their own special burger. Mushroom Swiss burgers are great. I'd say gross, but hey, everyone's got their own special burger. The woke right hates fun. Well, it turns out they just hate free speech. I use a pouch on each tooth. It says 32 pouches. Are you okay? Are you going to make it? Wintergreen. That's your favorite. Oh, and do you think Jim Carrey was cloned after his recent video? Have a fantastic weekend. I don't know. We don't know enough about cloning to have any serious conclusions about that, other than I'm sure it happens. I definitely think cloning happens. As far as what the results are, I don't know. If there's a conspiracy about why Jim Carrey looks like a different person at the award ceremony, I think it's just a body double. That's my guess. I bet these celebrities just have body doubles. And if they don't want to go somewhere, they just send the body double. That would be my guess. Flavored Alp is illegal in California. Are you serious? Is that true? Yeah, an Alp holster. This stuff is hilarious. The Alp belt is so hot. I'm telling you. We got to bring Alp in. Laura Loomer is trying to destroy Alp's business. She's going to end up making Alp $1 million. Beautiful. Owen Studio. Starlink would mount on the studio wall nicely. All right, guys. I'm officially looking into Starlink. Officially, we will be looking into Starlink. Put me down for a baker's dozen of pouches, and you'll put them all in at once. GG Gaziano, codpiece coffee pouches will sell out, mi amor. Oh, the old codpiece coffee pouch. Yeah, maybe we do it. Cowpoke Ranch. Larry Ellison just bought CNN. I'm not even joking when I say this. The admin and president is the most corrupt in American history. It ain't even close. Look, people are probably not ready to have that conversation, but I think it's not far off. We'll have to see where it all ends up. But I mean, I don't know if there's ever been some of the stuff this administration is doing. There's no denying it. There's no denying it. At some levels, it's more corrupt than Biden. It's just true. It's just true. And apparently, the CNN staff is panicking that they're all about to get fired now. I haven't seen them cover this today, though. CNN's been all over the Epstein deposition today. Haven't seen them cover the merger. And apparently, I guess Barry Weiss is about to get more editorial control. So we all see what it is. USMC mom, why do Republicans not flood the states to vote if there are no voter ID laws? Well, I don't think Republicans like to win, to be honest. I think Republicans love losing, and that way they can complain about how bad everything is and blame it on the Democrats and not actually have to do anything. And this right now is like the greatest example. The House, the Senate, and Trump with every mandate, and they still can barely even get a win. So I don't think the Republicans like being in power. I think they like losing and then blaming everything on Democrats. Do you like Die Antwoord? Am I missing something, Sam White? I don't know. I think this one's going over my head. Ken Rose, thank you. Is it true that Megyn Kelly invited Alex over for dessert? Don't. Guys, they did take a ride. Owen, are you seriously going to sit there with a straight face and say they're coming after Lutnick? No one will be coming after Lutnick. Nobody. I wouldn't be so sure. Now, I don't think Trump is obviously going to protect him at all costs. Trump and the administration is going to protect Lutnick at all costs. I'm telling you, the members of Congress are coming after Lutnick, and the media eventually might come after Lutnick. I'm telling you, I don't think Lutnick is going to have a fun ride. No. I do believe that. 1 of 1K. Keith Olbermann is my guess for most blocks. Boy, that guy, there's an insane person. YouTube keyboard is harder to communicate with than my last relationship. Sorry. Are the phone keyboards getting worse? Oh, my God. You took the drug test. Now do the DNA. You know, I don't want to do that because once you give those companies your DNA, you know they sell it. So as soon as I do that, then everyone's going to have my DNA. And I don't trust them. I don't trust anyone. Now, of course, unfortunately, the powers that be already have my DNA because I went to federal prison. So unfortunately, they already have it. But, there's probably more oversight of that. Honestly, you would think it's the opposite. But there's probably more oversight and protection over that than there would be in the private sector, which we found out. There's virtually none. It's totally untrustworthy. Would you trust anybody with that? They could set you up for a crime. They could plant your DNA, set you up for a crime. And, my family did enough research. I have a pretty good idea. I know what my family lineage is. I don't think I could trust it. I don't think I could do it. Count me in for floating steak and shake. That might be the one. Pickleball date win. How old am I? 36? 40 years, babe. I'll play pickleball when I'm 76. I can't stand it. Yeah, I can't stand pickleball. I'm with you, Tay-Tay. The entitlement of those people. Ugh. Rumor has it that Owen Schroyer's BF ran off with Tay-Tay's Latina. That was actually my clone. David Hall, thank you. Sorry, not cooking meat tonight. It's Friday. Ah, yes. It's Fish Fry Friday for Lent. Forgot about that. And there it is. We got all the super chats in. We went just over 3 hours, and there you go. There it is for the week. Here's one for you. Next Thursday, Ben Swan on the show. How do you like that? The owner of 23andMe is in the file. Seriously. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Have a great weekend. Movie of the weekend, Ali G in the house. If the weather's nice, get outside, enjoy it. Friends, family, you know the whole thing. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Hey, pray for peace. Let's pray they don't do it. Please don't do it. Let's pray they don't do it, folks. God bless and Godspeed.